major oil terminal. Fox's Nate Foy has more from Tel Aviv.
U.S. Central Command says it destroyed naval mine storage facilities and ballistic missile supplies on Karg Island. President Trump says the U.S. will destroy the oil infrastructure on the island, which would bring what's left of Iran's economy to a halt if Iran doesn't open the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. and Israeli airstrikes continue pretty much around the clock. They've hit Tehran and Isfahan. Israel says they killed several senior intelligence officials today. Meanwhile, Iran's cluster munitions continue penetrating Israel's air defense. Today, 2 people are hurt, including a 12-year-old boy from a cluster bomb in the southernmost town of Eilat. Kuwait says that 2 drones hit an airbase there, injuring 3 Kuwaiti service members.
President Trump's urging other countries to send warships to the Strait of Hormuz to help keep it open. The strait is a major oil shipping lane, and Iran's stranglehold on it is causing oil prices to soar. Gas Buddy analyst Matt McLean tells Fox News.
The reality is anything that gets that Strait of Hormuz open, and the sooner we can get that open, the better off everyone on this planet is going to be when it comes to oil prices.
And as the war in Iran goes on, the war between Ukraine and Russia continues. An official in Kyiv says a Russian missile and drone strike hit the region, killed at least 4 people and injured 15. America's listening to Fox News.
Your official weather forecast.
Tonight will be cloudy and breezy, not as cold as before, with a chance of a shower in some areas. The temperature will drop to 35 degrees, but will rise to the lower 40s. Sunday will bring considerable cloudiness, windy conditions, and warmer temperatures, with rain and a thunderstorm mostly occurring later in the day. Thunderstorms could bring localized damaging wind gusts with a high of 60 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
This is Sean Thompson. One of the things I remember about spring is listening to my grandfather walk around and say, opening day, it's just around the corner. He used to think those were the 2 sweetest words you could say during springtime because he was a big baseball fan. And for most people, that's the case. It's one of the greatest American traditions each spring. But there's another great American tradition that isn't far off, and that's called Tax Day. Well, opening day and tax day show up around the same time each year. We don't look at them in the same way. Well, you're optimistic about your favorite team. When's the last time you felt optimistic about stroking a big check to Uncle Sam? It doesn't have to be that way, and all you have to do is call Tom Fortino, the people at Alpha Wealth Group, who believe that baseball is a seasonal game, but tax planning goes on year-round. So if you don't want to write a big check in your retirement, and you don't want to have your Social Security or Medicare premiums affected by it, call Tom Fortino and the people at Alpha Wealth Group for their complimentary retirement roadmap. Call them at 630-864-6711. That number again is 630-864-6711 or online at alphawealthgroup.com.
Do you use a Link EBT card to buy food? Please listen carefully. Rules for SNAP eligibility have changed. You could lose your benefits if you don't act soon. Visit SaveOurSNAP.org to learn about new rules, how they impact your household, and the steps you need to take to keep your food benefits. Don't wait. Go to SaveOurSNAP.org today. Sponsored by the Illinois Commission to End Hunger. Aired in cooperation with the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
Welcome back to Ask Hassellus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Whoa, who's this?
This is Hassellus Mattress.
I thought you didn't have any employees.
That's right. Our showrooms are employee-free. Give our mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
But you still answer the phone?
Of course. That's one of 3 easy ways to order your Sealy Posturepedic and Beauty Rest mattress. Do it by phone, online, or at our in-store kiosk.
So, no employees.
Saves you money. Through Monday, trade in your old mattress and get additional savings of $248 off a queen and $348 off a king. And that's on top of our everyday low prices.
Okay.
Others sell a Sealy Posturepedic Queen Emeryville A mattress for $1,279. But Hassellus has it for just $838. Check out big discounts on Beauty Rest and more too. Plus, free next day delivery.
Keep this up and you'll be named Non-Employee of the Month.
Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hassellus.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
AM 560, The Answer. Prepare to have your mind opened. The lies of the mainstream media are about to be exposed, and the hypocrisy of the left is about to be revealed. This is a revolution in how you think about politics, race, and culture. You've tuned into Black and Right with John Anthony.
I'm coming in hot. Yeah, coming in hot. Just like the fajita. I write what I live. My life in the speaker. I'm nice with the flow.
Welcome to this week's edition of Black and Right Radio on AM 560 Chicago, 92.7 FM, and AM 1400 Detroit, Michigan. Michigan has just, when you think about what they had to endure during the storms, and I don't know if you heard about the incident that happened, and I believe it was West Bloomfield. I know my good friend Vance Patrick and I talked about it a bit. We just want to keep the people of Michigan truly, truly in our prayers, because wow, it's insane what's happening, and we're gonna get into it today. But I can't. I'll definitely really get into this in the coming weeks, because what I wanted to do this week and the last couple of weeks was get as many people who are running for office here in the state of Illinois on, so that we can get them interviewed. We're gonna do this for the Michigan crowd too. When I did Detroit's Morning Answer, I interviewed, I think, every single one of the gubernatorial candidates except John James. And I interviewed all of the attorney general candidates and a lot of candidates that's running for office. I think about people that are running for Secretary of State. I've interviewed pretty much all of those candidates, I think, except one or two, I think. So one thing that I do love doing is opening up the door and allowing the voters to hear directly from candidates. So, I'm looking at my, I know we're going to have Sean Noonan, who's running for DuPage County Sheriff on today. We're going to have, and Walter, and don't get upset with me if I can't pronounce your last name. Pete, get the enunciation of Walters. He's going to call in at the beginning of the next hour. We're going to have Tadora Brown, Gary Vissian, Mike Pierce, Dr. Pamela Denise Long, Patricia Easley, who's running for Congress. Dr. Pamela is running for U.S. Senate. Don Tracy's going to be on today. And I haven't been able to get in contact. Justin Fialco, he's running for Will County. If anybody that knows him, if you know him and you know me, send me a text. I somehow lost his contact number, and I tried to go through his Facebook page, but there's no way to message him. I know we talked about getting him on the show too, so I do want to get him on, give him an opportunity to speak to the voters of Will County as he's running to become the next sheriff. And I do know, so we'll see what happens. So this is going to be a show of a lot of interviews, except this first hour. But I did want to talk to somebody, because when I interviewed Rocio Cleveland, she talked about this lithium battery farm, and I wanted to get a little bit more information on it. And I see Terry's on the line. Terry, welcome to Black and Right.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. Talk to us. What is going on? Is it Prairie Grove and this lithium battery farm? I'm told that the proper procedures weren't handled the correct way. What's going on with this lithium battery farm?
Well, in 2024, my neighbors got a buyout letter and brought it to us across the street from Elion, a.k.a. BlackRock. They're owned by BlackRock. And I had called the village, and I had talked to Mike Freeze, and he said, yeah, it's never going to happen. It's just rumors. Don't worry about it. You'll see zoning signs, and, before anything goes down. And then all of a sudden I get a phone call from Mike Freeze in 2025, right before December 2nd Village Hall meeting, saying, hey, I told you if Elion was ever going to come tell us about this battery project, I'd give you a phone call. So I gathered all our neighbors, and we went to the meeting. We listened to to Elion. And then after that, I was like, this is way more involved.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole proposal.
Yeah.
So, of course, I FOIA'd everything.
Uh-oh.
filed ZBA zoning in McHenry. I FOIA'd the Village of Prairie Grove, and I FOIA'd the same exact thing and got different results. So then I was like, there's contradictions. One saying that McHenry County is telling us they told Elian they don't allow battery farms. The Village of Prairie Grove is saying they have to annex everything in because McHenry County wants the battery farm. So they're both pointing fingers of, no, we don't want it. No, we don't want it, but we want to get it first before the other person because there's lots of money involved. There's almost 2.2 million going to my daughter's school over here.
So wait, Terry, did I also hear you say a buyout letter? So they're using eminent domain to take property too?
Correct. Yep. One of the neighbors went and talked to the village, Mike Freeze, about the letter, brought the letter, and it stated, and they were talking about eminent domain to Mike Freeze. And just recently, once I started to FOIA the information, I created a Facebook page.
What's that Facebook page?
It's called Prairie Grove Neighbors, Rural Neighbors Against the Battery Farm.
Okay.
So once I did that, I started to drop all my FOIA documents into that for everyone to see. Well, the village didn't like that very much.
I'm sure you're exposing something that they probably didn't want to have to address.
Correct. So then I had the village president come into the group and say it's conspiracy theories, it's lies, this isn't happening, the way she's saying it's happening. So then I had to dig deeper and be more Nancy Drew, and then I started to FOIA other stuff. And then I realized after I and neighbors started to FOIA stuff, we were getting FOIAs back saying it's too cumbersome. It's too cumbersome.
Oh.
So, yeah. So then at the same time, I'm FOIAing the school district because they have a solar farm that is going up, like, as we speak. And then in these FOIAs, I got a data center email about developers talking with Elian and dropping names to get this all online sooner than later. Well, for months now, I've been asking, where's the data center going? Because it's a 600 megawatt, 600 shipping cargo containers full of lithium batteries.
Wow.
Mind you, we're not even a mile from the Fox River. We have a Prairie View Conservation Center.
And they don't allow them in there. They don't allow them in this town, correct, too, right?
Well, McHenry County doesn't, and unincorporated. So they would have to annex 52 acres into the Village of Prairie Grove.
Yeah.
So
well, Terry, what are some of the other elected officials within the area? Some of the state reps, maybe the Congress person who oversees the area.
Right.
Are they involved in this?
I wrote, and several others wrote. Steve Reich. He did message us, and he wrote a fantastic, article about it. But then he just emailed me recently and said, with this SB 25 that Pritzker signed is going to, basically allow these big companies to just do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Which I don't believe. I think our senators should be fighting to amend some of this stuff.
This is the first I've heard of it. We got about a minute left. I want to give you an opportunity to talk about what are you looking for? Are you looking for people to get involved in this? Because I don't think I've heard any governor candidate talk about this. I'll give you a minute to talk about how people can get involved in this and how you want this to get out there a little bit more.
Well, Joe Severino did come speak to us in our barn, and he is the voice that's been trying to help us.
Okay.
But I need people to spread the word. I need people to show up for board meetings. And I need people, we're trying to get a lawyer right now. We've been denied by several because it's the good old boys club over here. So we've been denied, but we have a GoFundMe. We have a fundraiser with Pizza Stop and Carry this Tuesday, and they're going to donate 20% of the proceeds to us to help us fight this. So,
can you give the Facebook page one more time?
Yes, it is. Sorry, actually, let me give you the exact.
Okay.
Prairie Grove Rural Neighbors Against the Lithium Battery Project.
Well, Terry, I hope that more people join you in your fight. I want to thank you for coming on and exposing this, and I think you should get a little bit more of these gubernatorial candidates involved in this. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
All right, Terry
Bye.
Good, talking about this lithium battery farm. You're listening to Black and Right. Guys, we'll be right back.
Scott Jennings sets the record straight.
Donald Trump has been 100% consistent on his views on the Iranian regime going back to 1980. And since he became a political figure in the United States, he has been crystal clear that he will never allow Iran to possess a nuclear weapon.
The Scott Jennings Show. Weekdays at noon, right before Hugh Hewitt at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Paid for by Michael Pierce for Congress. I'm a lifelong Illinoisan, a college graduate with advanced degrees earned while serving my country, and candidate for U.S. Congress. I retired from the Army with the rank of Lieutenant Colonel and active in veteran organizations working for the benefit of veterans in need. To go to Washington, fight for Illinois, and eliminate bloated bureaucracy left over from our prior administration, I need your vote. My name is Mike Pierce, Republican candidate for Congress, 11th District. Let me work for you and bring real change to Illinois and Washington. I am asking for your vote, and I approve this message.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, doctors Economos, Gavalis, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidiscipline practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930, 630-830-4930, or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
Temperatures are cooling, but not concerns about inflation, market volatility, in Texas. Revisit your financial plan this winter. BestGen Wealth Partners work with individuals to develop personalized plans that help navigate changing conditions with confidence. Visit GetRetiredStayRetired.com to learn more.
Advisory services offered through BestGen Advisors LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Private Client Services LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Private Client Services and BestGen Advisors LLC are unaffiliated entities. Any information discussed does not constitute investment advice. BestGen Advisors and Private Client Services do not offer tax legal advice.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Micro. That's pound 250, Micro.
Black and Right continues. Once again, here's John Anthony.
I brought up the website where you can apply for benefits. I started applying for those benefits using Governor Whitmer's address, so a real address with a fake name. I was able to bypass the Social Security, alien number, and never getting denied benefits at the very end, getting registered to vote. So my question is, why would we not mandate Social Security numbers or alien numbers on a website?
Now, that was State Representative Wolford from Michigan. I want to play that again because you probably missed some of the beginning because of the music. But I'm going to specifically address Lil Bob for this. Anybody know Lil Bob? Lil Bob's the guy that comes on Chicago's Morning Answer, and he's an antagonist. He really is an antagonist. But he and I, honestly, we talk back and forth through social media, and he said there was nothing as it relates to the 2020 election. I'm going to play something on that too. But I want you to hear this again. Listen to what this state representative said he did as it relates to Michigan and how he was registered to vote.
I brought up the website where you can apply for benefits. I started applying for those benefits using Governor Whitmer's address, so a real address with a fake name. I was able to bypass the Social Security alien number and never getting denied benefits at the very end, getting registered to vote. So my question is, why would we not mandate Social Security numbers or alien numbers on a website?
He was registered to vote, a sitting state representative. He's a good guy, too. I'm going to see if I can get him on next week because we'll be done with all of these interviews for these candidates. I'm going to see if I can get him on. I've had him on Detroit's Morning Answer a couple of times, and I'm going to see if I can get him on this show because you want to know the real reason why these states are not turning over their voter rolls? Because of stuff like this. He was registered to vote with a fake name, a real address. I interviewed Pastor Sewell on Chicago's Morning Answer. Pastor Sewell went into Michigan. There's a video on his Instagram. Go Pastor Zoe, I think that's what he is on Instagram. He went to this, I think he called it a trap house for voters or something like that. But a place where all of these people are registered to vote who vote. And I think it was a business. It was a business. Yeah, all of these people are registered to vote. But Lil Bob says there's nothing nefarious as it relates to our elections. Because, we did have the most secure elections in 2020. Speaking of 2020, about that.
Is it not true that Joe Biden won the 2020 election?
Senator, it is true that the 2020 election resulted in the certification of Joe Biden as president. But if you will allow me, since you want to bring up 2020, 3,930 double scanned ballots in Fulton County. 39,000 residents of Fulton County who had filed a national change of address form with the U.S. Post Office voted in that election. We know that 84% of those 39,000, either by their own admission or the filing of a new voter registration, were likely ineligible to vote in that election. We know that 315,000 ballot tapes were not certified and maintained the chain of custody as they were supposed to. And we know that there are thousands of missing ballot images from the 2020 election. The data also shows us that it appears that those 3,930 double scan ballots was done intentionally. Now, I have told the story in this well of Gabriel Sterling before, but I'll tell it again. Because Gabriel Sterling purchased his home in 2018 from an individual who then moved out of the state of Georgia. Gabriel Sterling, as you know, Senator, was the chief operating officer for the Secretary of State in Georgia. Gabriel Sterling was shocked to receive a piece of mail from Fair Fight telling him to return his ballot, that Gabriel Sterling received a piece of mail addressed to the individual who had sold him the home, who was living out of state, from Fair Fight. And Fair Fight was reminding that individual who lived out of state to return their ballot because it was requested by the mail. Sterling then does a little investigation of his own and discovers this individual who had moved out of state voted in the 2020 presidential election illegally. That vote was counted. It was rescanned and counted again in a recount, and it was counted in the hand count, Senator. So I would tell you, due to the shenanigans of 2020, I don't believe that we can say we know who the rightful winner was. We do, of course, know that Joe Biden was certified, but I do not believe that we know, due to the small margin of error, who the actual winner was.
And that was from Dolezal, who's running for Georgia. I believe he's running for lieutenant governor in Georgia. Now, that was a debate on, I believe that's the House floor in Georgia. That was a debate on the House floor. That ain't some crazed, far right, MAGA. These are people who are having a discussion on the Georgia House floor about what happened in 2020. And what just happened? We just had Maricopa County. Trump's DOJ is now in raided Maricopa County, a supposed Republican stronghold. Remember that. Maricopa County is a Republican stronghold. And yet 2020 was still the most secure elections we've ever had. We had a bumbling guy win more votes than the first black for president. 81 million votes. And we're all supposed to still believe that. And Jocelyn Benson, the Secretary of State for Michigan.
Can you assure Michiganders that there are no longer any non-citizen voters on the voter roll?
We've actually done a lot, frankly, more than any other state to ensure we're driving down increasing the security of our voter rolls. And you can go to our website and see everything.
Answer the question.
Ensure the accuracy of our lists. And we talked at length about that as well.
So are there any other non-citizen voters on the voter roll?
Well, it's certainly a priority of us to make sure we're consistently working to ensure the accuracy of our rolls. I'm glad to recognize as one of the top states in the country.
What about the illegal immigrant that was just arrested who voted in 5 elections? Give up all of the voter rolls. Let us see. Let us determine if it was the most free and secure election 2020 that we've ever had. Mike from Yorkville.
John, good afternoon.
Hey, brother.
Thanks for taking my call. It's wonderful to hear that talking about still the voter issue, but there's one thing I want just to praise God that in this nation we still have a spirit of truth that still rubs people along to say that's not right.
Yeah.
But this is how you know you're dealing with evil, is when they don't actually address it.
Yeah.
And our country and the people that are not in power, for whatever it is, are yearning for something that needs to be done. We're looking for men of action. We're looking for people that are looking to go ahead and finally say, we want people arrested. We want our money no longer put through fraudulent means when everybody else is out there working like you, myself, and many of the other listeners, that we see it's no sense to pay taxes on things that just keep on getting thrown away.
Yeah.
And here it is again. We're talking about things that are no longer conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
We've been branded these things. They have been lies of how they've been trying to detract people. And here we are today. The truth is coming out when people already knew it so long ago, but yet we are looking for people to finally say, and I know investigations take time. We have to do this. We have to do that because of how the feds work and how they have to acquire all of their evidence before they arrest somebody.
Right. And Mike, don't forget, evidence that might not have even been collected during the Barr and Christopher Wray terms.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. The Walrus did really horrible work.
Yeah.
He did. And, and don't get me wrong. We could do the investigations, but then we have another hurdle. The judicial process.
Yep.
We had the executive, which now investigates and then goes ahead. But now we have to worry about judicial process. Now we have to worry about when we do bring these people or the perps through, are they going to actually get convicted? Are they actually going to go through a grand jury where those grand juries look and say, oh, no, these are our friends. We don't try to convict them, even though they're guilty of sin.
Yeah. Just like Boasberg.
We need to actually make outside federal judicial agencies outside of the blue cities.
Yeah.
That is the only way. And you can do that.
Yeah.
They can take that hub and say, we're putting it in another city.
Well, they can
without
do
problem.
Well,
they can do anything, John.
Yeah. Well,
it's just it's one of those things. Think of somebody who's looking to help you.
Yeah. Hurry up, real quick.
Do they want to?
That's true. We'll see. And Pam Bondi would have to appoint somebody. Thanks, Mike. Give us a call, 312-642-5600, 312-642-5600. I know a lot of you people think Trump betrayed his base. No, he didn't. He told us. He told us what he was going to do. And I think so many of you who are now call yourself falling away, I got something for you. We'll be right back.
Larry Elder is impressed.
Destroyed apparently half of Iran's missile capability. Half have achieved air superiority. the Iranian naval, bottom of the ocean. Top leader and 40 some odd other top leaders wiped out in one fell swoop. This is stunning. Absolutely stunning.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 8, right before Sean Hannity at 10 on AM 560. The Answer.
Fox News, I'm Carmen Roberts. President Trump says he hopes many countries will send warships to help keep the Strait of Hormuz open. Guest buddy analyst Matt McClain tells Fox News that strait is vital to oil supplies.
The reality is anything that gets that Strait of Hormuz open, and the sooner we can get that open, the better off everyone on this planet is going to be when it comes to oil prices.
Yesterday, the U.S. bombed Iran's Karg Island, a key oil processing site. And President Trump says the oil facilities are still there, but the military operations are not. Iran is vowing to retaliate. Winter storm watches issued for much of the western Great Lakes. Fox Weather's Jane Menard.
I can tell you one thing, travel comes to a halt. Sunday through Monday, all of our major airports here around the Great Lakes.
America's listening to Fox News.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
Making the switch to a new communications and IT company may seem like a big ordeal, but if you're not getting the reliable support, consistent internet, and secure solutions your company needs, meet Access One, your local Chicagoland IT experts. Access One has been powering Chicago businesses with secure, reliable IT solutions for over 30 years from our headquarters right here in the West Loop. Whether it's VoIP phones, dedicated internet, managed cybersecurity, cloud backups, or 24/7 support, Access One is here for you. Serving thousands of companies from Naperville to the North Shore, Access One is Chicago-owned and Chicago-run, a trusted IT partner for law firms, clinics, tech startups to manufacturers. We'll make the switch easier than you think. Let's talk. Call 800-804-8333 or visit accessoneinc.com. Rated top 5% in customer satisfaction and a Better Business Bureau A+ rated business. That's accessoneinc.com. Tech made personal locally.
Hello, can I have your attention, please? My name is Hugh McKenty, and I'm a devout listener of The Answer. They have partnered with Food for the Poor consistently for the last few years. In the past, I've always wanted to participate, but unfortunately never had the extra cash at the end of the year to do so. But last weekend, I received the mail, and there was a bonus check for $2,500 from Mack Truck for selling commercial vehicles. I decided that I was all in. As I mentioned, I sell commercial vehicles. Everything from Mack, Volvo, Hino, Isuzu, new and used. I've been selling for over 30 years in the Chicagoland market. Call me at 630-918-9534 or check me out on the web. Google my name, Hugh McKenty, and Hugh is spelled H-U-G-H, McKenty is spelled M-C-K-E-N-T-Y. All right, thank you very much for your time.
To contact Hugh McKenty, search Hugh McKenty on LinkedIn or call 630-918-9534. That's 630-918-9534.
If you're over 65 and struggling with knee pain, Joint Relief Institute offers a guaranteed way to treat it. It's non-surgical and often covered by Medicare and private insurance. It's JRI's Joint Arthritis Treatment, knee lubrication placement that's so accurate, it's 100% guaranteed and can relieve your knee and shoulder pain in 10 minutes or less. Book your risk-free consultation today and get back to walking, golfing, pickleball to cycling without pain or medication. Call 708-315-6800. Meet the provider, get an x-ray and joint consultation. solution. Why wait? JRI has treated over 30,000 Chicagoans and performed over 400,000 procedures. You could be next. Over 5,000 5-star Google reviews can't be wrong.
Stop living in pain. Call the Joint Relief Institute today, 708-315-6800, or visit jointreliefinstitute.com. Locations in Glenview, Oak Brook, and Orland Park. That's 708-315-6800 for the Joint Relief Institute. Medicare and most private insurance plans accepted.
It's the show the mainstream media doesn't want you to know about. It's Black and Right with John Anthony.
Welcome back to Black and Right. 92.0 AM 560 Chicago, 92.7 FM and AM 1400 Detroit, Michigan. I'm really getting tired of these flimsy Trump supporters and how they quickly want to fall away. Yeah, Patah, let them fall away. It's still Trump Nation, mofos. I love you, Patah. I really do. I really do love you. But, I'm looking across social media, and I'm seeing all these people who Trump made. He made these people. They all got their money, and now they want to fall away. My wife has always told me I'm loyal to a fault. And I used to always say when I did interviews, what's your strength? And I would say one of my strengths is loyalty, and one of my weaknesses is loyalty. I tend to be loyal for too long and sometimes. But I'll tell you, name me one thing. If you're a Trump supporter, if you're a Trump voter, name me one thing that he's done right now. When you look at look at the overall picture and what President Trump has done. President Trump told us what he would do in Iran. He told us back in September of 2024. Who was president at the time?
But if I were the president, I would inform the threatening country, in this case Iran, that if you do anything to harm this person, we are going to blow your largest cities and the country itself to smithereens. We're going to blow it to smithereens. You can't do that. And there would be no more threats. There would be no more threats. But right now, we don't have that leadership or the necessary people, the necessary leaders. We have two people, not one. We don't even know who our president is right now. Who is our president right now? We really don't know, but we have two people, not one, that only keep looking. And when you do that, when you just look, trouble always ensues. So it's big trouble for our country. Meanwhile, we have the president of Iran in our country this week. We have large security forces guarding him, and yet they're threatening our former president and the leading candidate to become the next president.
Not only did they threaten him, they had an assassination out on him. Come on, man. I mean, you guys remember Get Rich or Die Trying? You remember when they were in the club and dude put on 50 song? Dude was like, man, the man's right here. What am I going to do? I mean, he was like, the DJ was straight disrespecting the dude by playing 50 Cent's hit piece. Trump told us what he was going to do. And I laid out a litany of reasons why last week. Since 1979, Iran has been at war with us. But we've had these leaders, Jimmy Carter to begin with. Reagan tried to do something. But after that, I mean, we went soft on Iran. And you want to know why Iran is not just going to fall down like a domino at this time? Give me a break. Mark from Oak Lawn.
John, thanks for taking my call.
You're
so spot on about the Trump supporters that are falling away. But, my take on it is I think a lot of them really weren't Trump supporters.
Yep.
They were just rhinos, and they were just going along to see how they could benefit. But once Trump fell out of favor, goodbye,
Yeah.
So, but my reason I call, I know I call you and I beat the dead horse, but, we need a mayor in Chicago. And you know what, John, you got an awesome resume. I mean, you're a former policeman, you're a former politician, you're a radio host, you're a good communicator, you're a family man, you're a hardworking guy. These Democrats, all they want to talk about is ICE. And someone gave money to a candidate from a Trump supporter. You know, that's all these stupid commercials are. It's just ICE and Trump supporters, and they never talk about schools or school choice or that cash bail, crime, some real key issues. And you know, it's a shame that Chicago is so corrupt. You know, did you ever consider, John, running for a higher office?
No, I'm done with politics. I will tell you this though, Mark. There are a ton of young upstarts that are within not only Chicago but this entire state of Illinois. And this coming year, I'm going to start highlighting a lot of these people who I think are the future for this party here in the state of Illinois. And I think these people, I had one in studio last week, Christian Maxwell. I really do believe she has a spot. Should her and her husband stay here in the state of Illinois, I do believe she has a spot in Illinois politics, and she has a future, I should say, in Illinois politics.
You know, John, when I see these Pritzker commercials and I see these puppets that are around her saying, "Oh, JB, we need a strong guy. Yeah. Oh, he's so good," I'm like, how much do they pay him off? It's just I start laughing out loud.
Yeah.
How absurd these commercials are, because no one in their right mind should be thinking J.D. Pritzker is an evil man.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate the call. But Mark, I'm Moses. I struck the rock when God told me to speak to the rock, and I've had my time, but I'm here to help lift up the arms and the hands of this next generation that I think will take no prisoners, and I want to be that behind-the-scenes person for them. We'll be right back.
He's a husband, a dad, owner of a gym. He's also a police officer. Staying strong and pain-free isn't optional. It's safety. That's why David Boardman's a QC Kinetics patient.
My job is dependent on my physical ability and my physical fitness so that I can protect myself, so that I can go home safe to my family at the end of the night.
But severe knee pain nearly took that away. Doctors said surgery, shut down the workouts. David needed another option. That was QC Kinetics. They told him,
"We're going to give you the opportunity to have not one, but 2 healthy knees, and we don't have to cut you open."
They used David's own healing tools in his blood to help restore his knees. Regenerative treatments right in the office.
Since I've gone to them, I run 20, 30 miles a week.
Trust the team helping active people avoid surgery. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 312-827-6261. That's 312-827-6261. 312-827-6261.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year. They want to make 2026 the best year ever. So to thank you, they are giving you free shipping on your entire order and wholesale pricing. So they are bringing back the mega sale. For example, the classic MyPillows, regularly $49.98, now only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the Made in the USA MyPillow My Mattress Topper and save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. These offers won't last long, so call 800-489-0201 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY. Order now and your entire order ships absolutely free.
Safety. It's so important at your industrial facility. You need to keep your personnel safe and meet OSHA requirements. One problem with your ladders, platforms, or safety guards, and you could be facing costly fines. Vans Industrial helps you meet OSHA standards to keep your employees safe.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. As a business owner, I realize the importance of keeping my employees safe, and I'm here to offer my expertise. Vans Industrial is a specialty contractor uniquely equipped to design, fabricate, and install safety equipment, including walkways, handrails, stairways, and machinery guards. Our Vans Industrial team can inspect existing systems, engineer solutions, fabricate quality goods, and install them with trained pros, all making a safer environment for your employees.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS Industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
This is Black and Right with John Anthony.
Get up, get on up.
Welcome back to Black and Right. Let's head back to the phone lines. Craig from Mount Greenwood.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, my brother?
Yeah, it's really good talking to you. Hey, boy, you hit on a subject matter here that has so annoyed me. And then there's a very, very serious side to this that actually involves the probably like a Russian people and Chinese and you name it.
Yeah.
With all kinds of Soros, huge money that will go to people such as the Owens. She was a good girl. I really liked her in the beginning. Tucker Carlson, I always liked him. They've gone off the tracks, and I think it might be dollars and cents. This has all got to do with influencers. There's tons of influencers being paid lots of money to do these kind of things. But here's the problem with like Tucker and all you need is somebody that's got like a little bit of a bent. Mike Adams has the anti-Semitic bent. Tucker Carlson has the anti-Semitic bent. Owens has the anti-Semitic bent. They're like these are young people who have been ruined in the school system, and they got this underlying dislike for Jewish people, and so they're very easily knocked off the tracks.
Yeah. Well, Craig, that's why last week I mean, listen, I understand how people have their issues with the Jewish people, with Israel. But you know, I've done so much work with the state of Israel. And I've never had those type of issues with the people of Israel, with Jewish people. I'm telling you, when I went to Israel, I saw the world. I mean, you see it totally different, Craig. I'm telling you, when you go there and you see how they're actually living there, it's totally different from what our media feeds us.
Oh, I'm going to back you up now. Listen, Brother John, we're together in spirit there. I've been to Israel. Yeah. I was there for several weeks. Oh, the people, they're great people, man.
Yes.
And loving people. Those people there, they always want peace. They're not doing anything. All the times when there's all that stuff all through the years, it was always Palestinians coming out of their tunnels with bombs strapped to them and everything, going and sitting in a restaurant among all innocent civilians, blowing them all up and everything. Over the years, nonstop. Yeah. And then Israel will go back and do something to punish them, and then everything gets blamed on Israel. Yeah. Israel doesn't go looking for a fight. But they're willing to finish it.
Well, I'm going to say, I think it was more so Muslim Brotherhood and Hezbollah and Hamas, not so much the Palestinian people. I broke bread with some Palestinian people and had some great conversations with some of the Palestinian people, and they want to live in harmony.
Yeah, you're right. Those people are those people. A lot of them, they're victims just as much as the others. But it's those what do you call it? Islamists. Yeah. Oh yeah. So Trump's got his work cut out for him because he's surrounded by these kind of like all these traitors and everything nonstop.
I agree there, Craig. It's amazing how many of these people quickly turn on him, and it's frustrating. Thanks so much for the call, Craig. I appreciate it.
You too, John. Have a great day.
All right. As you guys know, I interviewed Eddie Moore, who's running for sheriff, a couple of weeks ago. One of the things I wanted to have was somebody on who's also running for the DuPage County Sheriff. Sean and I have known each other. I think he was still a county board member, I believe, when I first met him many years ago. And now he wants to become DuPage County Sheriff. So, Sean, welcome to Black and Right, my friend.
Hi, John. Thanks for having me.
How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good. First time doing a radio interview, but yeah, so far so good.
Wait. Are you tired yet?
Not yet.
No, not yet. But Sean, before we get into the policy and things of that nature, I want voters to understand who you are. Tell us a little bit about your background in law enforcement. You served on the DuPage County Board, and what prepared you to run for DuPage County Sheriff?
All right. Well, thanks. Every question is a great question. Number one, I've been a resident of DuPage County for over 50 years. I've raised my family. I have 3 adult children, 2 of which are out of college. My son's a junior in college at the moment. I love people. I love service. I've been in law enforcement, serving respective municipalities throughout DuPage County for over 23 years. And I've had ranks from patrol, detective, school resource officer, officer in charge, use of force instructor, rank of patrol sergeant. And I still love the job. Like you mentioned, I was a DuPage County board member serving District 2 for 8 years. So I do have budget experience. I was actually on the Judicial and Public Safety Committee for all 8 years that I was on the county board, and we oversee, the Public Defender's Office, the State's Attorney's Office, and the Sheriff's Office. So I am acquainted. I'm not claiming to be an expert by no means, because we have experts in that field, but they do the budgeting, our CPAs and all that stuff. But I also have a master's degree in Public Safety Administration, and I didn't complete my undergrad, when I should have. I did that after getting married and having 3 kids, so that it was not an easy task. I got my undergrad. I had 8 more classes to go to get my undergrad. I wanted my parents to see it and my kids as well, and my wife. And, I took a year off, and I'm like, why? I didn't want to get too comfortable. So I actually liked the classroom setting and the networking. So I jumped back into it and then, knocked out and got my master's degree. So I'm doing everything I can to prepare myself. And again, I'm very passionate about people, and I care about this county tremendously.
Yeah. What are some of the specialties you've had while you've been in law enforcement? Specialty assignments?
Well, I was use of force instructor, so I did taser and pepper spray. I was the instructor for that. I was actually a Bassett instructor, which is beverage, alcohol, cellar, and servers education training. So any any establishment, restaurant, bar, all their management and teammates, staff, anybody handling alcohol would have to go through training through me, and I shared the training with one of my coworkers. So I think honestly one of the greatest responsibilities I had was being a field training officer.
Yeah. Sean, we got to go to break, but I don't think a lot of people truly understand that. But Sean, when we come back from break, DuPage County it's had this reputation for safeties, but there's a lot of people who are concerned about a lot of the spillage from Cook County, Chicago. I want to get into that and how serious is that a concern for you as you run for DuPage County Sheriff. We're talking to Sean Noonan. We'll be right back.
Okay.
You need a construction company, but who?
Call Crosscom.
A construction company you can trust that shares your Christian and conservative values. For decades, Crosscom has been doing work in Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, and Wisconsin. Roofs, siding, windows, doors, gutters, basically everything for your home or business, even solar. Quality work and professional services that make you feel great about your decision to work with Crosscom.
Call Crosscom.
630-871-5500. Give them a chance to earn your business. If your repairs are due to storm, fire, or flood damage, you need to
call Crosscom.
They're licensed public adjusters. They work for you, not the insurance company. Crosscom will work to get you the money you deserve, the maximum payout. They know the insurance companies and how to deal with them. They win for you.
Call Crosscom.
Crosscom Construction and Public Adjusters.
This is Dan Lights with Crosscom. You can trust us with your home or business for high quality work and fair prices. It's the only way we do business.
630-871-5500. CrosscomPublicAdjusters.com.
I'm Ben Barzita.
And I'm Matt Nadeau, founding partners of Barzita and Nadeau Wealth Management. And after more than a decade on the air, we're excited to be back with our brand new show, Money Hour Radio.
Tune in every Saturday at 1 p.m. on AM 560 as we break down retirement planning, market trends, tax reduction strategies, and our Advance and Protect investment approach.
It's sophisticated planning, independent analysis, and trusted guidance backed by over 40 years of combined experience.
Join us for Money Hour Radio, Saturdays at 1 p.m. on AM 560.
As a local business owner, you get called every week by marketing companies. We get it. We have hundreds of satisfied customers. Here's what a satisfied client recently said.
Open enrollment is going great. We're hitting record numbers. Thank you so much for this report. It really is amazing to see how the marketing is really shaping our enrollment around the city.
Salem Surround. Is your business hard to find online? Meet with a digital marketer today for ideas that will make your business stand out. Visit salemsurround.com.
And now, more Black and Right with John Anthony.
Welcome back to Black and Right. Before the break, we were talking to Sean Noonan. He's running to become the next Republican candidate to go into the general election for DuPage County Sheriff. Sean, one of the things that I know and understand, I think about my own state's attorney, Eric Weiss. I think about even Glasgow in Will County. But I don't think a lot of people truly understand the DuPage County Sheriff's Department has done an amazing job as it relates to ensuring crime stays really low in DuPage. But one of those reasons is Bob Berlin, the state's attorney. And I've just not rolled off 3 state's attorneys that's doing a great job. But I think about I talk to a lot of people who live in DuPage, and they truly are concerned about some of that Chicago and Cook County crime spilling over into DuPage. How serious is that a concern? And what would you do to ensure DuPage remains one of the safest counties in Illinois?
All right. Well, so first, I made a pledge to everybody. I'm not a guy that puts the cart before the horse, but I will make a promise that public safety will always be my highest priority. And what I remind people is that criminals don't discriminate. If the opportunity is there, they're going to take advantage of it. If you leave your car unlocked with a laptop computer or something valuable on the front seat, and they happen to be walking around the neighborhoods, and you forget to lock your car doors, if the criminal's there, he's going to, if the opportunity is there, he's going to take it. So, to piggyback off of that, with the highest, priority for me being public safety, I often refer to law enforcement, police particularly, as a glorified customer service job. Mm-hmm. And in order to provide that service, you need bodies. So my second pledge to the public and staff at the sheriff's office is recruiting and retention. I think it's so critical because, my slogan throughout this campaign is hire the best and keep the best. I want to keep people. If they're great officers, if the leadership is great and they're happy, and, listen, you're not going to make everyone happy all the time. It's just unrealistic. It doesn't matter if it's law enforcement, McDonald's, or anywhere else. You want people to be motivated, and you also want to mentor people. So I think if you have the bodies on the street and you're fully staffed, and listen, in all honesty, a lot of municipalities are facing the same challenges, but it's hard to hire law people, and people aren't interested in entering law enforcement careers anymore. And when I first applied, there'd be anywhere from 500 to 800 people applying, just showing up at the orientations. Now you're lucky if you get 40 or 60 people that apply. So I think just having, there's no substitute for, police presence, right? And, if the bad guy's driving through town, whether they're from Cook County or any other surrounding county, if they're driving through town and there's a police car cruising down the street or making a traffic stop, you'll never be able to basically come up with a formula how much crime was deterred just by police presence. So I think more bodies is the way to go. And obviously with that, you got to make sure you have the budget to hire these people.
That's true. I definitely want to give you the opportunity to speak directly because I wanted to get into, mental health. I wanted to get into the Safety Act. And maybe you could do that in your I want you to speak directly to the voters of DuPage County as to why Sean Noonan should become the Republican nominee to represent them in the general election, and then on to become the next DuPage County Sheriff. The floor is yours.
Thank you. So I've been, again, repeating myself, I've been in law enforcement over 23 years. I'm qualified. I have what makes me unique is I'm a former DuPage County board member, and I also have a master's degree in public safety administration. But my motivation is, number one, the current sheriff is not seeking re-election, so therefore I'm not challenging the incumbent. The position's open. I do have an opponent, and with everything that's been going on, unfortunately, there's been some negative attention in the headlines. Recently they had an $11 million lawsuit settlement, the largest payout ever in the history of DuPage County. They had an inmate that was passed away in their custody. They had the largest mass shooting ever in the history of DuPage County, and that happened on June 18th, 2023. You had 23 people shot and one death out of that. And again, unfortunately, just a lack of leadership. There was no presence, no press conference by anybody, the sheriff or undersheriff. And it was, it's been discussed. And I met with municipal law enforcement command staff, and it just, I think I want to strengthen the working relationships with our municipal powers.
Really quickly, where can people find you? Do you have a website? Real quick.
I do, yes. So my website is Sean Noonan Sheriff. It's SeanNoonan Sheriff. And then I'm also on Instagram, and I think it's referred to as a handle, but it's DuPage Sean Noonan. So.
All right, Sean Noonan, thanks so much for joining us on Black and Right, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, and I humbly ask for your support and all your votes. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Reference ID 15832060. Submit resumes to jacqueline.campbell@bcbsa.com.
You need to be tuning into the Retirement Success Blueprint with Michael Stewart, the radio companion to the Amazon best-selling book, Success Blueprint, How to Build the Retirement You Deserve. Each week, Michael shares strategies designed to help reduce market risk through income-generating investments that can provide steady returns. Because if you can avoid a big loss, you don't need to take big risks.
Catch the Retirement Success Blueprint with Michael Stewart, Saturday mornings at 10, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
News, opinion, insight. This is AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago. Streaming at 560theanswer.com on the AM 560 mobile app, or tell your smart speaker to play The Answer, Chicago.
Hitting a valuable island, I'm Roger Stern, Fox News. Oil for oil. As Iran blocks Western oil shipments in the Strait of Hormuz, the U.S. struck Iran's Karg Island, the main hub for Iranian oil exports.
U.S. Central Command says it destroyed naval mine storage facilities and ballistic missile supplies on Karg Island. President Trump says the U.S. will destroy the oil infrastructure on the island, which would bring what's left of Iran's economy to a halt if Iran doesn't open the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. and Israeli airstrikes continue pretty much around the clock. They've hit Tehran and Isfahan. Israel says they killed several senior intelligence officials today. Meanwhile, Iran's cluster munitions continue penetrating Israel's air defense. Today, 2 people are hurt, including a 12-year-old boy from a cluster bomb in the southernmost town of Eilat. Kuwait says that 2 drones hit an airbase there, injuring 3 Kuwaiti service members.
Fox's Nate Foy in Israel. Iran also threatened the energy infrastructure of all U.S. allies in the region. And fire and smoke were seen at the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad after a missile struck the embassy's helipad today. No one has taken responsibility. Many congressional Republicans holding firm in their threat not to pass other legislation until the House approves the controversial SAVE Act, requiring voters to show proof of citizenship. Republican Rep. Anna Paulina Luna on Fox's Saturday in America.
We're willing to hold the line. Look, we are on the side of history here. We have the American people with us. This is an overwhelmingly popular issue, and the president supports it. And so, Mr. President, we will be doing everything we can in the House to actually get this on your desk. And yes, that means going up against the Senate.
SAVE stands for Secure American Voter Eligibility. Opponents argue it would make it harder for voters to register. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Tonight will bring cloudy skies with a breeze, and it won't be as cold as before. There might be a shower in some areas. The temperature will drop to 35 degrees, but will then climb into the lower 40s. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Aren't you curious how the Bible became translated into the English language? Calvary Baptist Church of Tinley Park invites you to a special public viewing of biblical antiquity, a remarkable collection presented by evangelist Monte Watts Jr. Explore over 400 rare Bibles and ancient texts and see firsthand how Scripture has been preserved and translated through the centuries. Join us March 15th through the 18th for our 2026 Revival and Bible Collection event. For details, visit calvarybaptisttinley.com. We look forward to welcoming you.
Did you know most remodeling mishaps start before construction even begins? Here's something else you should know. At Forever Remodeling, we do things differently. Every kitchen, bathroom, and basement project starts with smart planning, detailed 3D designs, a clear scope of work, and accurate pricing, all sorted out before you get started. No surprises, no stress, just beautiful results, done right the first time. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4, EVER, remodeling.com, and schedule your free in-home consultation today.
Attention Link EBT card holders. If you use SNAP benefits to buy food, please listen carefully. Rules for SNAP eligibility have changed. You could lose your benefits if you don't act soon. Visit SaveOurSNAP.org to learn about new rules, how they impact you, and the steps you should take to keep your food benefits. Don't wait. Go to SaveOurSNAP.org today. Sponsored by the Illinois Commission to End Hunger. Aired in cooperation with the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
RedState.com captures the pulse of grassroots conservatism. Red State staff of contributors are on top of breaking news with stories and analysis that challenge the established agenda. RedState.com educates, motivates, and activates passionate conservatives across America, arming them with the facts that put them ahead of the political curve. No wonder RedState.com is a must-read for elected officials and for citizens who want to make their vote count. RedState.com is the place where influence meets action. Log on to RedState.com today.
In his new movie, The Dragon's Prophecy, Dinesh D'Souza brings the new Middle East into focus.
Could the fate of the world, of humanity itself, be somehow tied to this place?
At long last, we have peace in the Middle East.
Israel and Christians are coming together in a way they have never been before.
But is this the end of Hamas and radical Islam? The Dragon's Prophecy is powerful, prophetic, a must-see movie. Now available on Amazon, YouTube, and iTunes.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
AM 560, The Answer. Prepare to have your mind opened. The lies of the mainstream media are about to be exposed, and the hypocrisy of the left is about to be revealed. This is a revolution in how you think about politics, race, and culture. You've tuned into Black and Right with John Anthony.
I'm coming in hot. Yeah, coming in hot, just like the fajita. I write what I live, my life in the speaker. I'm nice with the flow.
Welcome back. Second hour, Black and Right Radio. AM 560 Chicago, 92.7 FM Detroit, and AM 1400. If you missed that first hour, head over to 560theanswer.com. Download the podcast. We need to get those podcast downloads back up again. They've kind of faltered and fallen off. So I need you guys to go ahead and get it done. I appreciate it. Let's go to the phone lines before we go to our next guest. Jim from South Elgin.
Well, good show, my friend.
Thank you.
You know, one of the problems, too, is having rhinos like Murkowski, and she's not going to be supporting the Save America Act.
Yeah.
And you could also think because of Mitch McConnell from Kentucky, he supported her when Chewbacca, who should have been the senator, was running, because she was, complaining correctly about things in Alaska and how things were, being held up because of Murkowski and some of the things she was doing. It wasn't serving your people, well up there at all.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And this is the problem with these rhinos, and that's why we can't get them out fast enough.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate the call, man.
Sure.
What was that, Chewbacca? Mitchell from Des Plaines.
Hey, John, you know what I'm curious about is that, if you watch all these commercials on the Democrats for all these elections, for all these positions, they have one thing in common. It's like, I can't stand Trump, just add water. It's Trump's fault that, we have high property taxes in Illinois. It's Trump's fault that, we have all this crime, carjacking. And it's the most absurd logic in the world. What I would like to do is invite WCPT listeners to come on your show and defend this ridiculous notion.
Oh, please.
They can't do it.
Please do.
John, they can't do it. You listen. I ask everybody, go listen to WCPT. You want to see the mentality of a broken clock? That has a lack of intelligence. That's them, and they represent. Okay, that's a microcosm of all these democratic cities. My point is, how is the correlation, John, between why they just project towards Trump? So what is the real problem with Illinois?
Well,
why do we have high property taxes? It has nothing to do with Trump, correct?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was them or the other station. They might be in trouble with Trump because they called Trump a pedophile on air. So with Fallon on the line, that video was sent to President Trump's legal team. So they may be in a little trouble.
Good. I hope he goes after him with everything he has, like he is with Iran. But the fact of the matter is that there's nothing concrete in their argument or any one of those shows. They all follow the same script. It's like, ICE is really the problem. They're going, so they can't figure out that the ICE agents are going after people that are here illegally, and somehow that's the fault of why all these problems are taking place. I mean, John, this is the most absurd thing. We are living in the dark ages, on steroids, and our state with our property taxes are a nightmare.
Yeah, that's so true.
And how are we going to get? My point was there's no way unless you move out of the state that you're going to get around it. Because that one Democrat will answer the question about property tax, including Fat Albert, our feckless governor.
All right, I got to go, Mitchell. I got a guest coming up. Thanks, man. A Republican has not held the Secretary of State's position since George Ryan in 1999. That's a very, very long time. Our next guest, Walter Adamczyk, is seeking to become the next Republican Secretary of State. Walter, welcome to Black and Right, my brother.
Hey, thank you for having me, brother, man.
And you know, Walter, one of the things I know about you, you are not a career politician. You come from the grassroots party and the workforce. Let's start with the big picture, Walter. What made you decide to run for Illinois Secretary of State?
Oh, why am I running? Because I want to bring back integrity, accountability, and transparency. What's happening right now are streets are not safe. They got illegals. They're driving a CDL. They're driving trucks. They're killing Americans on the road.
Yeah.
You know, they're making U-turns on the highways. This is terrible. You know, this is pay-to-play politics. Julius is giving them like a free ride. You know, he's in the paper. All the corruption is going on with him. You know, he gave the trucking outfit gave him $300,000, and even the Chicago Mafia gave him money, donations.
Yeah.
And Alexius Julius won't even say anything. He's not gonna talk.
Yeah, Walter. What are some of the changes on day one that you would come into the Secretary of State's office to make?
I want to give honorable veterans free licenses, free state IDs, and I want to clean the voting rolls, just like you were saying about the Safe Act. You know, we need accountability. See who's on the voting rolls, because I'm hearing a lot of stories. Illegals are voting right now.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing the Democrats are stealing the election with mail-in ballots.
Yeah.
Because they do steal. We don't have lawyers, Republican Party, so we need to talk to Trump, bring Trump's legal team here, lawyers.
Would you turn over the voter rolls to Harmeet Dillon, who's looking to go across? I mean, she's tried to get it here, but Alexei is not budging on that. Would you, if you were in the office, would you turn them over?
Yes, I will turn them over because there's dead people on the rolls. There's a lot of illegals on the rolls. You know, it's an ongoing cycle. There's a lot of fraud.
Yeah.
You know, they're not, because he's hiding something. If he's not turning the voting rolls, why? He's hiding something.
You know, speaking of that, you know, you and I both know Illinois has this reputation for corruption over the years. What role, if should you become the next Secretary of State, what role should the Secretary of State play in improving this transparency?
We need a better, overseer, like an audit.
Oh.
So, you know, like
you're so right.
All this corruption, pay-to-play politics have been going on for long. Look at George Ryan. He got busted taking bribes from trucking. CDL killed a family on the highway. How come this guy's in office? This guy doesn't even want to be a Secretary of State guy. He wants to run for mayor.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be Secretary of State any longer because Donald Trump is going to bring his DOJ here and is going to clamp down.
Yeah. So, Walter, let's say you become the Republican nominee. How do you beat this Democrat machine in a statewide race?
How am I going to? Because look at Trump. He had 2.4 million voters come out. I could say the Democrats are more active voters. If Republicans are become more proactive, come out and vote, we'll change the state
to
red.
Walter,
our voting in the general, like in November, in the primaries, our voter reach dropped 750,000.
Yeah.
Because they said my vote doesn't count. That's what I'm hearing. My vote doesn't count.
Yeah.
My vote doesn't count.
Walter, I want to give you an opportunity to speak directly to the voters of the state of Illinois as to why they should vote to elect you to become the Republican nominee to face off against Alexei in November? Go.
I mean, yeah, just come out, vote for Walter Adamczyk, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day, because your vote does count. And he won't answer a lot of these questions, where he's getting the money from. You know, I could bring that out of him.
Yeah.
You know, I live in Chicago. He's from Chicago. You know, we got to get down and dirty, because he's going to get exposed. He's getting exposed right now. So I'm your choice, you know, March 17th, to go after the corruption, the Chicago machine. We just got to be more active, proactive as Republicans. We need to come out and vote.
Yeah.
And then we cannot be pushed back anymore.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that you're not afraid to talk about your support for President Trump, Maurice. This is a guy saying, I should ask everyone if they're Republicans or MAGA Republicans. Walter Adamczyk, thank you so much for joining us on Black and Right. And Tuesday can't get here soon enough, can it?
Oh.
All right, Walter. Thanks so much for joining. Guys, hold the line. We'll take your calls when we.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Walter.
Thank
take
you,
care.
John.
All right. We'll take your calls when we get back from break.
This week on Capitol Hill is the best way to get informed on everything going on with Congress. Hosted by Tony Perkins and the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
2025 was setting the table. The feast and the banquet in the economy will be 2026. And it's beginning to happen right now. Bigger tax refunds, bigger paychecks already beginning, and more on the way. The big, beautiful bill is being implemented right now.
Stay informed and become a regular listener. This week on Capitol Hill, Sundays at 1 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, AM 560 listeners, Jeff checking in again from JeffBuysYourHouse.com. What I learned serving our great nation in the military is that every mission is unique and success starts with listening. For nearly 20 years, our veteran-led house buying team has taken the time to understand what matters most to each homeowner we serve. Every home has a story, and every seller has different needs. Whether you want a quick closing or need extra time to find your next place, we customize our approach around what works best for you. That's how we've earned hundreds of 5-star Google reviews and an A+ rating with the BBB, by putting relationships first. No repairs needed, no cleanout required, and you pick the closing date that works best for your schedule. At JeffBuysYourHouse.com, we're here to help you through the entire transition, not just the transaction. Are you ready to work with a local team that takes the time to understand your home selling needs? Sell your house to the trusted source by calling us today at 630-895-9530. That's 630-895-9530 or JeffBuysYourHouse.com.
Hey, I'm Steve Wyatt, and I want to invite you to the Wyatt Matters Show, which airs every Sunday on this station. You can expect lively discussion and heartfelt reflection that will both entertain and inspire you. And if we do it right, maybe deliver some genuine laughter as well. We talk about not only what matters, but also why it matters.
Wyatt Matters. Sunday morning at 6 on AM 560. The Answer.
All right, Vito, you best be letting me in and having a look around.
Officer Murphy, hello. Yeah, this is Vito's Vault. We're definitely not a dinner theater speakeasy, where you can get dinner, drinks, and an amazing musical comedy show, plus free parking, all for one low price.
Oh, that's too bad. I was going to bring me dear sweet mother to see your show.
Well, why didn't you say so? Come on in.
Vito's Vault, Chicago's new Roaring 20s dinner theater speakeasy. For tickets, go to vitosvault.com.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Paid for by Michael Pierce for Congress. I'm a lifelong Illinoisan, a college graduate with advanced degrees earned while serving my country, and candidate for U.S. Congress. I retired from the Army with the rank of Lieutenant Colonel and active in veteran organizations working for the benefit of veterans in need. To go to Washington, fight for Illinois, and eliminate bloated bureaucracy left over from our prior administration, I need your vote. My name is Mike Pierce, Republican candidate for Congress 11th District. Let me work for you and bring real change to Illinois and Washington. I am asking for your vote, and I approve this message.
She's unafraid and unapologetic. She's Laura Trump, and she's shaking things up on the Right View podcast.
We're the side with the mean stuff? Are you guys kidding? You call us Nazis. You call us fascists. You call Donald Trump Hitler from the left. Really? We're the side that's the problem. You're out assaulting ICE agents every chance you possibly get.
Subscribe to the Right View podcast with Laura Trump on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com. Black and Right continues. Once again, here's John Anthony.
Welcome back to Black and Right. Let's go to the phone lines. Rick from LaPorte, Indiana.
Yeah. How you doing, John?
How you doing, Rick?
Yeah, I was telling the screener, it's like, hey, I believe in this red, I remember all the people who used to be on the radio, and then you had your guests about a month or two ago, and then they were at City Hall, and then City Hall told them they couldn't come there no more.
Yep.
I haven't heard anything for about a month. I'm getting scared. I mean,
no, they're still out there.
Laying low.
Actually, I'm gonna be interviewing Patricia Easley, better known as P. Ray, who was a radio host, Black Excellence Hour. She's coming up. I'm interviewing her. She's running for Congress in the 7th. So you'll be hearing from one of the original Reds.
I'm telling you, I want everybody in Illinois and Chicago. If you're disappointed in the way it's being run and stuff, vote everybody in there now. Vote them the hell out.
Yeah, Rick.
Time for change, people. Time to change the diaper.
That's true. Rick, she just popped up on my board too, so I'm gonna be interviewing Patricia Easley coming up next.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, brother. And as you heard me just saying, Patricia Easley, you guys probably know her as P. Ray. She's a Chicago activist, media voice. She's the founder of Chicago Red. It was a grassroots effort, and she's still doing it. Grassroots effort focused on shifting the political conversation in urban communities and expanding the reach of conservative ideas. And I do believe she has done that. Now she's taking that fight directly to the political arena. But I'm sure you guys seen her all over on Fox News and with the big red hat. I used to love when I see her with that big red hat. She's running for Congress in the Illinois 7th Congressional District. Guys, this seat has been held for nearly 3 decades by Congressman Danny Davis and is now open for the first time in generations. The district stretches from Chicago's west side into several western suburbs, and it truly has long been considered one of the most reliably Democrat districts in the country. And P. Ray wants to change that. P. Ray, welcome to Black and Right Radio.
Thank you for having me, John Anthony. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Patricia P. Ray, for people who may not know you, and I'm that's probably not that many people, tell us your story. What shaped you personally and politically to step into this race now at this time?
I've been doing this my entire life. My name is Patricia Ray because my mother's name is Patricia. My father's name is Ray. I'm their first child, born on their 5th wedding anniversary, so I'm Patricia Ray. However, my parents, when they graduated from college, they decided to move back to the Austin community where both of my grandmothers lived in order to invest their intellectual capital into the community. So every Saturday of my life, we were doing political civic work. However, my father has a history degree from NIU, and every day of my life was a political history lesson, okay, like a real live lecture. And so one day I said to him, Daddy, we just had this discussion. Why are we Democrats? We should be Republicans. We're done doing this. And he told me, shut your mouth, Ray. Don't you ever say that again. Do you know that if you say that in Chicago, they will stop picking up our trash, they will stop shoveling our snow, and someone will slap you in the face. Don't ever say that again. And I said, okay, Daddy. But my father passed away in 2013. However, in 2016, I left America and went into political exile to protest the Obama administration along with Rahm Emanuel because they were actively demolishing the multifamily housing in my community. And I worked in Congressman Davis's office while I was in high school, attending Whitney Young. Every day after school, I would go to the congressman's office to work on a federal housing initiative called WOW with Ownership Wealth. And I had 500 hours when I graduated from high school. So to see my work go up in plumes of smoke all over my community literally hurt my feelings, and I left America. So I came back after the administration switched and ended up getting an invitation to the White House, and I spoke to Ben Carson, and it's been MAGA time ever since.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that I've noticed, you know, you and I both know Chicago is not a Republican stronghold, but you've changed the game. You've really brought, when you ran for you ran as a Trump delegate, correct?
Yes, sir, and I won.
Yeah, and you won.
4,064 votes with no campaigning in this blue district.
I'm not going to lie. I would have never thought 4,000 people would come out and vote Republican in that area. How did that happen, P. Ray?
So, you know, I used to host Black Excellence Hour. And so the people know me, aside from me doing this, again, since I was 12 years old, I'm 38. So that's 26 years of me doing this consistently. And I just told the people, it's time to move on. Everybody, let's go. Tie up your gym shoes really tight. We're running to the right. We're done with these people. They obviously do not like us. The Chicago Housing Authority has been hoarding $1.8 billion for the past 26 years with a waiting list of 120,000 families. So if we say 3 people per family, that's 360,000 Americans waiting on housing in Chicago, but yet they didn't make any of the migrants wait. Once you put it to the people like that, they're like, oh, P. Ray, I want to be a Republican too.
Yeah. Now, I know, what are some of the things you're hearing as you're traveling the 7th Congressional District? And what would be one of the first things you like, one of your first bill ideas?
So a couple of things that I'm hearing when I talk to the young men, typically they tell me, well, I don't vote, I don't do that. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm the Republican candidate. And they're like, Republican? Oh, yeah. This is our Congresswoman. Everybody, this is the Congresswoman. So I love being greeted as the Congresswoman. Yeah. However, my first thing that I want to do is I want to address the life expectancy gap in the district. Currently, there's a 20-year life expectancy gap between the west side of Chicago, which is majority Black, and downtown, which is majority white. Now, if you hear that, you would automatically think, Black people in Chicago, they're living these different type of lifestyles. They're not eating well, blah, blah, blah. But that's not true. For 7 years, I was an investment advisor at Merrill Lynch, and I successfully courted Loretto Hospital as a client.
Which I don't think you talk about enough, because I don't think people understand just how good of a position that was. And I don't think you talk about that enough.
Well, I couldn't talk about it at the time because I was doing like all of this unauthorized firm stuff. However, yes, I was a real live licensed stockbroker. And so I courted Loretto Hospital as a client. Loretto Hospital gave me $64 million to go and start an account. I took that downtown on Wacker. They clapped for me, but then they ran it back. And they said, wait a minute, Patricia, we can't move forward with this account. I said, and why not? They said, because their Medicaid reimbursement rate is too high. So what happens is if you have an institution that has a Medicaid reimbursement rate, meaning those are the receipts that they're giving to Medicaid to get the money back for treating the patient. If that's above 17%, those institutions do not have access to the primary credit market. They can only get credit on the subprime market, which means that those institutions cannot get the best equipment, they can't expand, and therefore it exacerbates health outcomes and this life expectancy gap. So as Congresswoman, I want to work with my colleagues in the rural areas and across the aisle to eliminate Medicaid reimbursement as a credit factor when it comes to lending to healthcare institutions.
Yeah.
That way, they can really get the help that they need, and we want to make sure that Medicaid is being paid at 100% reimbursement because currently it's between 60 and 70%, and this is why we, again, have this life expectancy gap.
Now, P. I know you're getting ready to do a Twitter, what is it, X, Spaces, right? Isn't that what it's called?
Yes, a Twitter Space, yes.
I'm just not versed in Twitter. But I want to give you a minute to speak directly to the voters of the 7th Congressional District, why they should vote Patricia Easley in as the next Congresswoman from the west side of Chicago, and also give people where they can follow you and where they can come in and tune in into your Twitter space or X space.
Absolutely. So the reason that I should be your congresswoman is because I am the only person in this race who is talking about shaking a hand and making a friend. We don't have the privilege of fighting the federal government right now because we are dealing with a mold crisis on the west side of Chicago, along with a housing crisis in the district. The Chicago Housing Authority has a waiting list, again, 120,000 people, and we have to make them spend that money. I want to bring the Army Corps of Engineers here to the city of Chicago to do the labor, to train local contractors and Section 3 contractors on doing the work so that people have more invested into these units. That way, we can put the shovels in the ground and bring our people home from Iowa. I already have a relationship with the President of the United States. I'm already working with the President of the United States of America. I've asked my mayor to please call him, and he won't.
Yeah.
Therefore, I will. We need to have one friend that can go and do the work, and that's me. Follow me on X at Chicago Red P. Chicago Red P and PRayForCongress.com. I look forward to speaking with you.
When you win, we'll have you back on because the message that I think most Republicans are missing as it relates to the black community, you have that, and I want to have you back on to talk about that. Okay?
Anytime. Call my phone.
All right, we'll be right back.
Finds it hard to believe.
CNN describes the two terrorists in New York City as two teenagers from Pennsylvania who crossed into New York City Saturday morning for what could have been a normal day before they threw a bomb and tried to blow up a bunch of people. It almost becomes impossible to believe.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
Fox News, I'm Carmen Roberts. Iran strikes back after the U.S. bombed its Karg Island, where it processes most of its oil.
Iran attacked oil infrastructure in the region today. They targeted facilities in the United Arab Emirates and Iraq. Now, Kuwait says that 2 drones struck an air base there, injuring 3 Kuwaiti service members. And Iranian drones also targeted the country's international airport, causing damage to its radar system.
Fox's Nate Foy in Tel Aviv.
President Trump now wants U.S. allies to send warships to help open the Strait of Hormuz.
An Iran-backed militia is taking responsibility for an overnight attack on the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. And as oil prices surge, President Trump yesterday invoked emergency powers to push for a restart of oil drilling off the coast of California. America's listening to Fox News.
Your dog and a stranger are drowning. You can only save one. Who do you choose? Dennis Prager says your answer reveals everything about how you define right and wrong. In his new book, If There Is No God, Prager exposes the danger of emotion-based morality and why, without objective truth, society descends into chaos. This isn't a religious book. It's a rational case for moral clarity in a confused age. If There Is No God, from Dennis Prager. Order now at PragerStore.com.
This is Sean Thompson. One of the things I remember about spring is listening to my grandfather walk around and say, opening day, it's just around the corner. He used to think those were the 2 sweetest words you could say during springtime because he was a big baseball fan. And for most people, that's the case. It's one of the greatest American traditions each spring. But you know, there's another great American tradition that isn't far off, and that's called Tax Day. Well, opening day and Tax Day show up around the same time each year. We don't look at them in the same way. Well, you're optimistic about your favorite team. When's the last time you felt optimistic about stroking a big check to Uncle Sam? It doesn't have to be that way, and all you have to do is call Tom Fortino, the people at Alpha Wealth Group, who believe that baseball is a seasonal game, but tax planning goes on year-round. So if you don't want to write a big check in your retirement, and you don't want to have your Social Security or Medicare premiums affected by it, call Tom Fortino and the people at Alpha Wealth Group for their complimentary retirement roadmap. Call them at 630-864-6711. That number again is 630-864-6711 or online at alphawealthgroup.com.
I'm attorney Stephen Leahy. If you're a business owner with unfiled tax returns, tax season is not your friend. This is when the IRS turns up the heat. They match 1099s. They review payroll filings. They compare bank deposits. And when returns are missing, they don't send you a warning. They take action. Penalties stack up fast. Liens become public. Bank levies can drain your account. I see it every year. Good business owners who waited too long. Not because they're crooks, but because they were overwhelmed. Let me be clear. Hiding makes it worse. Action makes it fixable. I help business owners get compliant. File what's missing and negotiate from a position of strength, not fear. Don't wait for the next certified letter. Don't wait for a levy. Go to fightbacknow.com and sign up for my daily email. I'll tell you exactly what to do next, step by step. Or call me right now at 312-664-6649. Act now before the IRS acts first.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I spent years living in fear of calcium oxalate crystal stones, always afraid of when the next one would hit. Now I just take Kidney Cop.
Battling calcium oxalate stones? It's time to try Kidney Cop, a doctor-recommended kidney supplement that has been shown in laboratory tests to reduce the growth rate of calcium oxalate crystals by 99%. Get Kidney Cop today at Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCop.com.
Are you a fraud-paying American? 1 in 4 tax-paying Americans have been victim of identity fraud. With LifeLock, your identity, if it's stolen, they fix it guaranteed or your money back. And last year, billions in refunds were stolen. Could be from your salary, overtime, or second job. Gone. But this year, you don't need to stay a victim. Because this tax season, fraud-paying American is something no American should have to claim. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms do apply.
If you're near retirement or thinking about retiring, you probably have a lot of questions. How do you make your savings last? How much should you take out and when? You're ready for retirement, but are your finances? I'm Edward Jones financial advisor, Nolan Webster. Let's work together to make sure your finances meet your unique needs over the long haul. You've done what it takes to get there. Now it's time to make the most of retirement. Call me at 224-801-6107 to schedule an appointment. That's 224-801-6107. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
It's the show the mainstream media doesn't want you to know about. It's Black and Right with John Anthony.
Welcome back to Black and Right. I'm getting tired now. I know I am. I can't wait till March 18th. We can go back to our regularly scheduled content of no interviews. As you guys know, I love to talk and I love to just duke it out on policy issues. But today we're joined by Gary Vishen. I hope I said his name right. He's a Republican candidate running for Congress in Illinois 14th, which is where I live, in the Illinois 14th in Joliet. Gary is a retired teacher from Somonauk and he served in leadership as the Naperville Township supervisor. He says the biggest challenges facing families in the district are high taxes, rising costs, and government overreach. And I know that because I reside in the 14th Congressional District. Gary, welcome to Black and Right. There we go.
Oh, thank you so much, John. I really appreciate with your busy schedule of many candidates that you spend some time in there, because I hear you a lot. You do a great job talking to a lot of people, but it's a big job.
Yeah, normally, I put out the schedule way back in January of who I wanted to interview, depending on what day, and I always expect the last week to be that. The week where everybody just inundate me. The last 2 weeks are the days when everybody just call in, and I never have a problem with that, because one of the things I want to do is give the voters. I want the voters to hear from the candidates themselves, and not because the campaigns, you guys all like to attack each other, and and I just want the people to hear directly from the voters. That's why I hear directly from the candidate. That's why I have people on, so that we can have that conversation, Gary.
No, I really appreciate that. And, we spend a lot of our time actually listening to the voters. We had to get petitions, but talking to people because, that's what I want to do. I want to be a person that's going to listen and then go and take the things, the concerns of the voters. In fact, really in our campaign, we haven't really, been attacking our opponent. We've just been laying out what we want to do and how we're going to make a difference. And there is a need for a lot of change in Illinois and also in Congress.
Yeah, and Gary, especially the 14th. I mean, I've gone back from the 11th and the 14th, and Bill Foster has been as somebody that was, he's been a congressman for the 11th and the 14th, and but when you think, and now Lauren Underwood is there, Republican voters are frustrated with politics right now. So what was it about? What you saw that made Gary say, I have to go to Washington and change the Republican frustration, specifically in the 14th?
Well, the big part of it I did is I have not only children and grandchildren, and I'm really concerned about the next generation because I know I've had a great life here in America when we were more focused on our constitutional rights and principles. And, we've wandered away from that, and we have talked of socialism and other things that are – and I know from my experience, I visited behind the Iron Curtain back before the Berlin Wall fell. And I have relatives that were back there, many of them. So I know we have to protect our liberties. We have to protect our economy. And of course, our neighborhoods and all that. But that's why we have to have, the wall to protect, the rights of our border. And we have to support the police,
Yeah. And Gary, when you look at what's happening with the SAFE Act, it barely passed the House. You look at what's happening as it relates to immigration. President Trump got it done without legislation. As it relates to, and a lot of people who are running for Congress like to talk about crime. The only thing that Congress can do is fund the states as it relates to, so that they can fix the issue of crime. But when it comes to the SAFE Act, where would you have stood on that bill?
Oh, absolutely. I'm completely behind that because we need to have that kind of support at the federal level, which will filter down because what's going on like in Illinois is ridiculous. The way they've been protecting the criminals and funding, they spend so much money on the illegal people, yet we have so many people in our own neighborhoods and our own communities that need help.
Yeah. Now, Gary, I always like to give candidates an opportunity to speak directly. I mean, you could use this as your last get out the vote drive, whatever you want to do with it. But speak directly to the voters of the 14th District. Why should they elect you over James Marta, who's a dear friend of mine? Why should they pick you over James Marta to represent them in Congress?
Well, I've had the experience at winning against Democrats. So the people want a winner because we've got to win this seat. Is the first thing. The next thing is that, I've had the ability to bring people together with my background, both in, education mostly, but also in politics. And also, I've worked as a businessman. I've worked with all kinds of people. We need to bring the people together in this country. We need to unify because at heart, I think we all want the same things. We want, a great country to live in, and we want to be safe, and we want to have a good economy. And I know from my experience, because I actually worked a little bit with the legislature too. So I have experience of actually running an office and being successful, cutting taxes, expanding programs while I was cutting taxes.
Yeah.
I eliminated debt, started a veterans program, expanded for the seniors. So, I have those experiences. Mr. Marta's a nice guy, but he hasn't had those experiences to really help people the way we need to help them. So I think that's what the people, why they haven't voted for him when he got up to the.
All right, Gary, we got 10 seconds. Where can people find you?
Okay. You can look at my website, visionforcongress.com, or my webpage, same name. So those are the two key ways. Looking at my Facebook and my, on the webpage. So thank you so much, all of you, for listening and for letting me speak.
All right. Thank you so much, Gary Vision. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be right back.
Met. Projects are delivered on time and with high-quality systems. Requirements are a bachelor's degree or foreign equivalent in computer science, management information systems, or related. 5 years of experience as an application/information technology analyst or a related position. Must have Workday Pro Integrations Administration certification and Workday Pro Integrations certification. May work remotely throughout the U.S. Salary is $155,368.81 with standard corporate benefits included. Email resume to claudine.volkening@rsmus.com. Reference 1729.
The following advertisement includes a celebrity impersonation.
The summer heat in Chicagoland is no joke. And if your old air conditioner is making funny noises, you may already know it's time for a new unit.
Look, your air conditioner, it's a disaster. People are telling me it's the worst ever.
Don't sweat it, literally. When it comes to cooling your home, Air Right Heating and Cooling does it the best.
And they love our country. Beautiful people.
Rebates are still available, financing is flexible, and at Air Right installations are smooth and professional with no surprises.
It's beautiful. Some people say it's the coolest air anyone's ever felt. I don't know. That's just what they're saying. It's doing an incredible job, really tremendous.
Plus, tell them AM 560 sent you and Air Right will give you $56 off any service. Visit Air Right Heating and Cooling today at AIR-RITE.com. Again, that's AIR-RITE.com. Air Right Heating and Cooling, doing it right since 1959.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
This is Black and Right with John Anthony.
Welcome back to Black and Right. We got another candidate coming up, but before we do that, I want to bring on my buddy Patrick from Royal Oaks, Michigan. Hey, Patrick.
Hey, John. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well.
Hey, a lot of stuff happening. Did you hear that comments that James Carville made a few days ago?
Which one? He's made a few in the last month.
The one where he said he's got Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he wants more of it.
Yeah.
So, when I heard that audio, I went on YouTube and they actually had a video of him saying it without blocking the words out. And a lot of people were liking it. I think they were Democrats, and I wrote in, I think he's really mad at himself and his party for what it's become. It's become the party that champions pedophiles, illegals, murderers, rapists, and gangbangers. That's why he's mad.
Yeah, I thought I had that clip, but I thought I had it for the morning answer, but I can't find it. But I thought I had it. But yeah, you're right.
Listen, as far as this attack in Michigan here at the synagogue and the other attack at the college, years ago when Biden and the Democrats were letting in millions of illegals into our country, I said, look, it's not a question of if some of these terrorists are going to attack, but when.
Yep.
So unfortunately, we have to be ever vigilant and ready for more attacks, I think.
I think the clarion call has gone out, and I think we are going to see more. I think it was Mike Davis, who said it. No. It was Ruiz, the cop guy. He said he was just at the White House, and he said the stuff that he can't even talk about it, but what's to come and what they're expecting to happen. Mm-hmm. And Elise Slotkin just voted against funding DHS.
Yeah,
come on,
she knew.
Yeah,
she made a public statement saying yes, we need to fund Homeland Security, and then she went ahead and voted against it.
Yeah, I got the audio for that. I'll play it a little later. Hope you continue to tune in.
Oh, I will. Yeah, I mean these people are just ridiculous.
They are.
And all the rest of them.
Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate the call. Now we got another candidate running for Congress. He spent 3 decades serving in the United States Army. He's retired Lieutenant Colonel Michael Pierce. And, I mean, when you think about what's happening today, we need more men like him serving in Congress. Lieutenant Colonel Michael Pierce, welcome to Black and Right.
Hi, how you doing? Nice to talk with you.
Yes.
It's great to be here.
I'm glad you're here. But, Michael, you spent nearly, 3 decades serving in the United States Army. What lessons from military leadership do you believe Washington, D.C. desperately needs right now?
It's a great question. First of all, I want to make sure we're clear on this. It was 20 years active duty, and then it's been additional 12 to 14 years as a contractor working at the European Command Headquarters and Africa Command Headquarters. So that's where we get the 30 years in there. As far as what Washington needs right now, they need somebody who's got ethics, transparency and a desire to serve as opposed to serving oneself. So I want to serve my country. I'm running for Congress because I want to keep giving back to the country I love and be the voice against that corruption and the out-of-control taxing and spending that our state and country face. So that's why, and that's what we need in Washington, somebody who will stand up to the people and who can do it politely, who can do it but firmly, right?
Yeah.
To find common ground, but to stand by my principles.
Yeah. Michael, the military operates on principles like accountability, discipline, and mission clarity. What does Washington look like if those same standards were applied there?
Well, if those standards were applied, number one, if you take a look at you take a look at how our laws are being implemented right now, the laws would be a lot more fair and they wouldn't be targeted going after specific groups. And you can go right down the line of the groups. The other thing about the military is about fairness. Nobody just hands you your rank. You get ranked by working hard. And so if it was had that type of leadership in Washington, it would be developing programs to help people, give them a hand up, not a hand out. Yeah. To stand up for oneself, because the pride that a soldier has doesn't happen overnight. It's built in because they earn it. They earn respect. They earn their rank. It's not handed to them, and they're better people because of it.
Yeah, as you know, we a lot of people like to call it we're at war with Iran. If let's say you were in Congress, what would be some of the advice that you would give to President Trump, to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, because of your long experience in our military? What would you say to them right now?
Well, for about close to 10 of the years I was working at EUCOM and AFRICOM, I worked on defense critical infrastructure and readiness. So number one is we would need to make sure that all of our bases in the asymmetrical environment in the Middle East are hardened. That means they're prepared against attacks. We need to double down to make sure that we're not being complacent. We need to make sure that our troops are being properly trained. We need to make sure that when they are deployed, that they're deployed with the right equipment. And that means everybody, not just some small portion of it, that everybody's over there is properly trained and held to a higher standard. I believe that Secretary Hegseth has been doing a great job of that, focusing back in on the warrior ethos, but we really need to make sure that they've got the tools to do that, and that starts with training at the first line level.
One of the things we're getting ready to go to break, but one of the things that you have discussed during your campaign is the tone of politics. You talk about how you want to bring respect back into political conversations, because I'm also one of those people. That's one of the reasons why the last couple of weeks I've been opening up this show to have candidates on. I get beef because I don't do the gotcha questions. I want people to know who they're voting for. It gets tiring sometimes. But I want to know where you stand on policy. Like you just said, as it relates to this Iran war, what you would tell President Trump and how you think what they're doing right now. I do too. I know Patriot Mike doesn't agree with what's happening over in Iran, but I do. So when we get back, I want to talk to you about the tone of politics and how do we bring civility back to politics? Yeah. Is that okay?
Roger that. You bet.
All right. We'll be right back.
Your beloved dog and a stranger are both drowning. You can only save one. Who do you save? Every time Dennis Prager asks that question, his audience splits three ways. 1/3 chooses the dog, 1/3 chooses the stranger, and 1/3 aren't sure. Why? Because we live in an age where increasingly feelings define right and wrong. But if morality is based on emotion, then murder, rape, and theft are just opinions. And if people feel justified, why is rioting or destruction wrong at all? In his new book, If There Is No God, Dennis Prager explains why civilizations cannot survive without objective morality and why Judeo-Christian values shape the moral foundations of the free world.
If you claim that certain things are good, certain things are evil, independent of how you feel about it, you are in effect affirming God.
If There Is No God by Dennis Prager, available now at PragerStore.com. That's PragerStore.com.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, doctors Economos, Gabe Alice, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidiscipline practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930, 630-830-4930, or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
And now, more Black and Right with John Anthony.
Welcome back to Black and Right with John Anthony. Before the break, we were talking to retired Lieutenant Colonel Michael Pierce. I want to quickly get your take on how do we bring respect back into political conversation? Do you think our politics rewards this outrage instead of solutions right now?
Well, I don't think our politics rewards it, but I do believe that a lot of people are fascinated by it, and part of the system is made it because of so much money, and so they tend to magnify that negativity that's out there. I believe that 85% of what are the issues we can work together on and find the common ground and stand on principles. It's about tone. As the gentleman beforehand just mentioned, but, I've set my entire campaign on that idea. I grew up in a very mixed urban neighborhood when I was a kid, and the Army is the most integrated of all of the services. And so you learn you need to start with dignity and respect for every single person that you meet. You start on that, and you start with a place of love, because as a man of faith, I believe in that, and I know that Christ started with that. Yeah. So you start with those as your base work, and then you move forward. And I think if you extend an open hand, there's some things that I'm not going to agree with Democrats, but there's others that we can. And I think if people understand that you're a man of principle, we don't always get along in everything or I agree on everything, but we can certainly, those areas where we can bring this state back and get the economy back on track, bring jobs back to Illinois, to lower taxes, to lower the cost of living. There's a lot of room that we can work together on and bring this state back together.
Yeah. Now, Michael, I'm going to give you about a minute to speak directly to the people of the 11th Congressional District as to why they should elect you as a Republican candidate to go on to November. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, Roger. Number one, you can count on me to work for you, listen, and understand that just as in the military we watch each other's back, I'm watching yours, and I'm out there. I'm the only candidate I hear with the top pro-life and pro-family organizations that's in this District 11 race: Illinois Family Action, the Pro-Family Alliance, Illinois Citizens for Life, and Family PAC Federal. I've got 20 years active duty. I was an enlisted guy. I worked my way up. That means I know about hard work. I'm going to donate my salary, John, if I'm elected. I'm going to give it to organizations throughout our beautiful district. Illinois used to be a 23 representative state. Now we're down to 17, going to 16. I'm going to change that trend, bring jobs and people back to Illinois by working with other people, by encouraging businesses to come back here and focusing on the great things that Illinois has to reverse the deterioration and the dilapidation of our great cities, not just Chicago. I'm talking about Elgin, Aurora, et cetera. And let me tell you, this used to be a great state for manufacturing, but if we let our infrastructure fall apart, then those jobs and those cities won't be able to come back. We've got to focus on that, and that's where I'm going to put my efforts in. Helping to reestablish our infrastructure. That means federal money can come into that. Work on bringing industry and keeping them here. So this is going to be a multi-pronged approach. There's nobody in this contest who's been in all 8 counties. I've been to Boone, I've been to Cook, I've been to DeKalb, DuPage, Kane, Lake, McKinley, Will. Every single county in this state knows me, and there's a Pierce sign all around them. Why? Because I'm the hardest working guy in show business. I'm going to borrow that one from James Brown. I used to live in Augusta, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know my neighbor bought his Jaguar. I'm telling you. Anyway, bottom line is I am here to work as a conservative, as a veteran, as a servant leader for our community. I've grown up here. I've lived in half the places in this district. My family roots go very, very deep. And I love this state. I want to make it a place for my children and my grandchildren to grow up in and get good jobs. And I want my neighbors to do the same. That's all of my neighbors. It doesn't matter where you came from. It's about where we're going together as a team. And John, we've spoken before. That's from the heart. And that's as transparent as it gets.
Yeah. Well, Lieutenant Colonel, thanks so much for joining us on Black and Right. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yes, sir. Have a great day. Appreciate it.
All right,
Thanks for your time.
Retired Lieutenant Colonel. I know we have some candidates that are on that are on hold as well. I'm going to do my best to get to everybody. Guys, hold the line. When we come back from break, we got another interview. I'm going to take a couple of the calls of some of the callers, and then we'll go straight into the interview, and then I'll take the rest of the callers. So thank you for your patience. You guys the phone lines blew up, and they're packed right now. We'll be right back.
The following is a paid political announcement.
I'm Tidora Brown, running for Congress in Illinois' 11th District. I'm not a career politician. I'm a mom, homeschooling my kids through today's chaos. I'll fight for real education choices, not bureaucracy. Schools that educate and not silence parents. District 11 deserves safe communities and real economic growth. Your cash, your community. On March 17th, make the right choice. Choose Tidora Brown, the only candidate who can take on Bill Foster. I'm Tidora Brown, and I approve this message.
What are you doing?
I'm setting up the Art of Options sectional.
That's a popular pick at Penny Mustard.
But why is it so long?
I wanted to create the world's longest sectional that wraps around the entire showroom.
Well, the Art of Options is powered by a rechargeable battery, so it can literally go anywhere.
So what are you going to build next?
The world's longest coffee table.
The Art of Options reclining sectional starting at $92.65 at Penny Mustard.
6 Chicagoland showrooms.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
News, opinion, insight. This is AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago. Streaming at 560theanswer.com on the AM 560 mobile app, or tell your smart speaker to play The Answer Chicago.
Iran fights back. I'm Carmen Roberts, Fox News. The Iranian military attacks oil facilities and other sites in neighboring countries after the U.S. bombed its Karg Island, where it processes more than 90% of its oil.
Iran continues showing its offensive capabilities, not only attacking U.S. bases, also Israel, while the U.S. embassy in Baghdad was on fire this morning after a strike there. A missile hit the helipad of the facility. The Iranian-backed militia group Kataib Hezbollah has fired on this complex several times during the war.
Fox's Nate Foy in Tel Aviv. And the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad is urging Americans to leave Iraq now as the militia attacks escalate. Meantime, President Trump's calling on other nations to send warships to the Strait of Hormuz to help reopen it. GOP Senator John Hoeven tells Fox News he supports the idea.
Other countries that are going to be bringing in ships to work with our military in terms of securing the Strait of Hormuz, I think it's an excellent idea.
And the oil industry in California could be coming back as Energy Secretary Chris Wright orders drilling to begin again offshore.
This is a state that used to provide 40% of the total U.S. oil production. The pipeline that we're talking about is located near Santa Ynez. It was shut down in 2015 after an oil spill that contaminated the coastline with more than 142,000 gallons of crude. Now, that caused $3 million in damage for the state. But a Texas-based company, Sable Offshore, bought that pipeline from ExxonMobil back in 2024. But Governor Gavin Newsom saying no way. He says, quote, Trump knew his war with Iran would raise gas prices. Now he wants to illegally resurrect a pipeline shut down by courts and facing criminal charges. And it won't even cut prices. I refuse to let Trump sacrifice Californians, our environment, or our $51 billion coastal economy.
Fox's Marianne Rafferty. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Tonight will be cloudy and breezy, not as cold as before, with a chance of a shower in some areas. The temperature will drop to 35 degrees, but will rise to the lower 40s. Sunday will bring considerable cloudiness, windy conditions, and warmer temperatures, with rain and a thunderstorm mostly occurring later in the day. Thunderstorms could bring localized damaging wind gusts with a high of 60 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
In today's fast-paced world, professionals face endless projects, deadlines, competition. To thrive, you need mental clarity, sharp focus, and reliable memory. That's why the same company that brings you Relief Factor created Think Factor. Think Factor is designed to help you think clearer and perform better daily. It's a powerful blend of nutrients that supercharges your memory and sharpens your focus. You can stay on top of your work and outshine the competition. After a couple of weeks of taking Think Factor, I noticed a dramatic difference in my clarity, my focus, even my memory. And you know what? The longer you take Think Factor, the better the results are. If you've ever felt mentally foggy or struggled to keep up with everything on your plate, well, Think Factor can help you reclaim your cognitive edge and thrive in your life. Call 800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF, or visit ReliefFactor.com, ReliefFactor.com to order Think Factor. Call 800-4RELIEF or visit ReliefFactor.com. Your first bottle, just $19.95. Think Factor. Think clearer, perform better daily.
Hey, I'm Steve Wyatt, and I want to invite you to the Wyatt Matters Show, which airs every Sunday on this station. You can expect lively discussion and heartfelt reflection that will both entertain and inspire you. And if we do it right, maybe deliver some genuine laughter as well. We talk about not only what matters, but also why it matters.
Wyatt Matters. Sunday morning at 6 on AM 560. The Answer. She's unafraid and unapologetic. She's Laura Trump, and she's shaking things up on the Right View podcast.
We're the side with the mean stuff? Are you guys kidding? You call us Nazis. You call us fascists. You call Donald Trump Hitler from the left. Really? We're the side that's the problem. You're out assaulting ICE agents every chance you possibly get.
Subscribe to the Right View podcast with Laura Trump on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
If you'd like a smartphone that's really smart, download the OnePlace.com app, the app that will inspire your faith daily and provide answers to the biggest questions of all. OnePlace lets you download your favorite pastor's programs and listen, even offline or in airplane mode, with easy connections to your Bluetooth speaker or dashboard. To download your free OnePlace app, visit the iTunes App Store or the Google Play Store for your Android device and search for OnePlace. That's OnePlace.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
AM 560, The Answer. Prepare to have your mind opened. The lies of the mainstream media are about to be exposed, and the hypocrisy of the left is about to be revealed. This is a revolution in how you think about politics, race, and culture. You've tuned into Black and Right with John Anthony.
I'm coming in hot. Yeah, coming in hot, just like the fajita. I write what I live, my life in the speaker. I'm nice with the flow.
Welcome back to Black and Right Radio on AM 560, The Answer. Chicago. Forgot to say goodbye to my Detroit crowd again, Pete. I love my Detroit crowd. I really, really, really do. If you missed those first 2 hours, head over to 560theanswer.com. Download the podcast. You can listen to the show no matter where you are. Before we get to our next interview, Michael from the show Shite. What's up, brother?
John, thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for holding.
To you and your loved ones. As usual, you are killing it. I think it's you are providing a very valuable public service by interviewing Republican candidates, and you're not playing favorites.
Thank you.
Just finally, I just wanted to give you a shout out for putting on P. Ray Easley. Every time she does a media appearance, she comes across as very polished, knowledgeable, and passionate. Yeah. And I think she's going places.
Yeah, so, she is, though. She is very, and guess what? She's full of life. You know, you can hear the bubbling of the energy in the, that when she's interviewing.
Yes, I guess you can. And she comes across as though she really does care about the district. So, so thank you for interviewing her.
Hey, you're welcome, brother. I appreciate that. Stick around because Dr. Pamela Denise Long, who's running for U.S. Senate, is coming up next.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Speaking of, she's a candidate for the United States Senate right here in these United States of America, Illinois. She's an occupational therapist, and I'm sure the doctor is going to correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. She's an occupational therapist, strategy consultant, former columnist, and political commentator with decades of experience working in areas that intersect with federal policy. She's running in the 2026 race for the seat currently held by Senator Dick Durbin, who's retiring. after decades in Washington. And we know what that has done. Her campaign has emphasized rebuilding trust in government, tackling healthcare costs, strengthening election integrity, reducing regulatory burdens on businesses, and bringing together voters across geographic and political divide through what she's called a united Illinois approach. Dr. Long, welcome to Black and White Radio. How are you?
Hello, sir. Happy to be here, and you nailed it.
Okay. Sometimes you got to make sure when I do my due diligence on the candidates, I always want to make sure I get everything right.
Yeah, you got it. Black and White. Look at you living up to your name.
Illinois has not elected a Republican to statewide office in over a decade. What specifically is broken inside the Illinois Republican Party, and how do you plan to fix it?
Well, it'd be easier to answer what is working.
Okay.
I think the GOP overall at a national level has dropped the ball in stepping into the gap of leadership. I think we've fallen for the idea of being against things rather than standing for something. When the GOP, the gallant old party, was started in 1854, it took a stance in the midst of controversy, moral and economic and national. And I think we need to get back to that.
Yeah. You're Chicago and downstate, which is, I believe, where you live right now, downstate. Mm-hmm. They often feel like two completely different economies. What policies could bridge that divide?
Well, I think recognizing that in many ways they are two different economies, but we're one state. I mean, Illinois is essentially Pennsylvania, right? It's the state that never ends, the song that never ends. There's 7 hours of drive from the border of Wisconsin to the Ohio River. We are a different economy, but we're the same people. And so we have to realize that we're in this together. And we have to realize that we're stronger together and that the various ways that we have an economic background from the industry, from the research and development within academia, from the hub that is Chicago and its diverse technological and all of that, we build a strong economy. We are $1 trillion economy, and there's nothing wrong with that diversity.
Yeah, you spent much of your professional life working in healthcare. I actually read the Affordable Care Act, and it never really truly, that bill, that law never truly dealt with health care. It dealt with the insurance industry, but never truly with health care. What would be one of the first reforms that you would put in place, or you let's say you go to the Senate and you say, President Trump, I got an idea. I know how to fix health care. What would you say to him?
Yeah, one, I would want to focus on health. I love the MAHA movement. So I am an occupational therapist, and I've been an administrator across, working with preemies to the oldest of elders. We need to focus on actual health. Let's live up to the name. And what does that look like? That means incentivizing wellness, rewarding wellness. It means changing from a medical model, right, to include holistic approaches, to include making sure that people maintain their youthfulness rather than just treating and medicating, first of all. And then from the healthcare insurance perspective, I'd love to see that the insurance goes with the person rather than traveling with their job. It belongs to you. It's portable, guaranteed, renewable, and obviously affordable as well.
Yeah, farmers across Illinois are facing rising costs. I used to be a part of the agriculture committee when I served in Springfield. I mean, when you think about the consolidation by a lot of these large agribusinesses and these uncertainties about these federal crop programs, what would you do in the Senate to support these family farms?
Yeah, so you've hit on a really big one there. So,
I've been following you. I've been watching. I know what you're doing.
So I'm part of our farm was started in 1850 up here in Illinois, started by a freed slave, so 173 years in the family. And what I've found with talking to farmers is that big agribusiness is a problem. And so, of course, we need to look at how to bust that up. We need to make sure that and that's something the executive does, right? But we in the Congress need to look at and hold investigations about about it. And I think what we need to also do is get rid of any types of regulations that are preventing farmers from selling to their neighbors, their eggs, their meat, and the like. And we need to just really open up the market more. And we need to make sure that farmers are able to modernize their processes, as well as making sure that multi-generational family farms and land is protected from predatory practices and that they can be transferred intergenerationally. That's a big word.
Speaking of two things that you talk about a lot, property rights and generational wealth, you've actually proposed legislation aimed at protecting family land and heirs' property from forced sales and as you call them, predatory practices. Why is this issue so important to you?
Look, we have to realize that homes are independent from a mortgage and from the debt of having to pay rent. It's also intergenerational wealth and freedom. I want to make sure that people who have built a thing can pass it on to their children and grandchildren, whether they're living in it, they're renting it, or they just have it sitting for occasional use via recreation. A large part of my bills, and there are two of them, a large part of that is enforcement. We have some good laws, but we have weak enforcement of it, and I want to see Congress do more of an investigation and empower the executive and hold the executive accountable for enforcing laws that are on the books.
Now, I have two questions, but I want to also offer you the opportunity to give you that minute to speak to the voters. You know what? I'll do that because we only have a minute and 40 seconds left. I want to give you the opportunity to speak directly to the voters of Illinois as to why Dr. Pamela Denise Long should be the Republican candidate to face off against whoever they face off in November.
Yeah, so I'm running because I want my grandchildren and yours to inherit a nation that makes sense. And right now, our nation doesn't. From men kickboxing women to Americans Last policy, where our children are still living with us because they can't afford to live on their own, to us funding foreign wars and sending our children to die in them. I am running because I want to make sure that government is actually working and we remember what it means to be a ever perfecting union. You can find me on my website at longforsenate2026.com. I'm not new to this. I've been writing about these policies for a while, and I'm just running to put real meat on the bones and power behind what I've been advocating for our families.
Yeah. And where can people follow you again? What's the website?
They can follow me on TikTok, on Facebook, and it's longforsenate2026.com. And my handle on socials is longforsenate2026, and that's FOR Senate.
All right. That's Dr. Pamela Denise Long, who's running to replace Dick Durbin in the United States Senate. Thank you so much for joining us today on Black and White Radio. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thanks for the time.
All right. No problem. Hey, wait. How did the X Spaces go?
Which one?
When you were on with P. Ray, real quick, how did that go?
That's tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Darn it. Okay. All right. I look forward to it.
Happening. All right. We'll share.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
All right. You're listening to Black and White. Guys, hold the line. I'm telling you, I'm going to get to you when we get back.
Alex Marlow does see a legit scandal.
I'm kind of amazed by this scandal that has rocked the Department of Homeland Security. Kristi Noem is out. I saw this. I was aware of it, but I have to admit, and this is a big admission, I did not do a deep dive on it. And I have in the last 24 hours, and it is shocking. It is a legitimate scandal.
The Alex Marlow Show. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Making the switch to a new communications and IT company may seem like a big ordeal, but if you're not getting the reliable support, consistent internet, and secure solutions your company needs, meet Access One, your local Chicagoland IT experts. Access One has been powering Chicago businesses with secure, reliable IT solutions for over 30 years from our headquarters right here in the West Loop. Whether it's VoIP phones, dedicated internet, managed cybersecurity, cloud backups, or 24/7 support, Access One is here for you. Serving thousands of companies from Naperville to the North Shore, Access One is Chicago-owned and Chicago-run, a trusted IT partner for law firms, clinics, tech startups to manufacturers. We'll make the switch easier than you think. Let's talk. Call 800-804-8333 or visit accessoneinc.com. Rated top 5% in customer satisfaction and a Better Business Bureau A+ rated business. That's AccessOneInc.com. Tech made personal locally.
Hello, can I have your attention, please? My name is Hugh McKenty, and I'm a devout listener of The Answer. They have partnered with Food for the Poor consistently for the last few years. In the past, I've always wanted to participate, but unfortunately never had the extra cash at the end of the year to do so. But last weekend, I received the mail, and there was a bonus check for $2,500 from Mack Truck for selling commercial vehicles. I decided that I was all in. As I mentioned, I sell commercial vehicles. Everything from Mack, Volvo, Hino, Isuzu, new and used. I've been selling for over 30 years in the Chicagoland market. Call me at 630-918-9534 or check me out on the web. Google my name, Hugh McKenty, and Hugh is spelled H-U-G-H, McKenty is spelled M-C-K-E-N-T-Y. All right, thank you very much for your time.
To contact Hugh McKenty, search Hugh McKenty on LinkedIn or call 630-918-9534. That's 630-918-9534.
If you're over 65 and struggling with knee pain, Joint Relief Institute offers a guaranteed way to treat it. It's non-surgical and often covered by Medicare and private insurance. It's JRI's Joint Arthritis Treatment, knee lubrication placement that's so accurate, it's 100% guaranteed and can relieve your knee and shoulder pain in 10 minutes or less. Book your risk-free consultation today and get back to walking, golfing, pickleball to cycling without pain or medication. Call 708-315-6800. Meet the provider, get an x-ray and joint consultation. Why wait? JRI has treated over 30,000 Chicagoans and performed over 400,000 procedures. You could be next. Over 5,000 five-star Google reviews can't be wrong.
Stop living in pain. Call the Joint Relief Institute today, 708-315-6800, or visit jointreliefinstitute.com. Locations in Glenview, Oak Brook, and Orland Park. That's 708-315-6800 for the Joint Relief Institute. Medicare and most private insurance plans accepted.
Black and Right continues. Once again, here's John Anthony.
Welcome back to Black and Right. Before we head to our next interview, yes, my voice, I think it's getting ready. I'm going to probably lose my voice. Let's go to Callie from Schaumburg. Hello.
Hi. How are you guys
We're
today?
doing well. How are you?
You know, I'm a little nervous for this primary coming up because I think if we don't get a Republican in one of these districts, I mean, we can just say goodbye to our state right now.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not talking about a rhino Republican. I'm talking about a real Republican.
Yeah.
And, you know, my fear is seeing how many, you know, FEC filings and funding have gone to some candidates in certain districts that I don't think are real. And I think it's just the same party pissing in the same toilet seat. So my whole thought is the only chance Illinois really has for a congressman is Mark Rice. He's the only option. He's the only real conservative, and I hope that his district sees that. I've had the honor to kind of talk to him and meet him, and you know, I've talked to a lot of the other candidates as well. Just being a social media influencer with 150,000 followers, you know, I'm connected with people all over the world.
Wait, is this Callie Fine?
Yes, it is.
Hey, yes, we met at the was that the State of the Union address?
Yes, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I know exactly.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I wanted to call in. I know that we had talked about me coming on the show.
Yes.
And kind of talking each other's ears off. But you know, what are your thoughts a little bit on this primary coming up?
Well, I think especially for governor, I'm of the belief that any one of them is better than J.B. Pritzker. Same with Mark. Listen, Mark Rice. When I had one of my worst days, that guy was there for me. I could never, and he knows this, I could never say anything bad for Mark Rice, because he was somebody that helped nurse me back in one of my darkest days. So I could never say anything bad. I love that guy.
Well, that's what we need. And unfortunately for some of the other candidates, I don't think I've heard many of the same stories.
Yeah.
But I totally agree. If we don't get a Republican governor in during this primaries, and I'm just really coming on here to encourage everyone to get out and vote for your Republican candidates.
Yeah.
And for people our age, get out. You know, if you have 5 minutes to scroll on TikTok and watch me, you have 5 minutes to go and vote.
Yep, and I'm going to tell you, this is such an important election, and
Yep,
we
it is.
definitely need more Republicans and strong conservative Republicans to serve in so many of these different positions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Callie.
100%.
I really appreciate it, and
Thank you so
I'll
much.
definitely have you on. Let's work on that, okay?
I've got a lot of topics. I think we could find some common ground. Absolutely. You guys have a great rest of your evening, and let's go Red.
All right, yeah, good. Thank you. Now we're joined by our next candidate, Tedora Brown. She's a Republican candidate running for Congress in Illinois' 11th district, one of my other former districts. She's a wife, mother, and grandmother who has built a life centered around faith, family, and education. She studied elementary education at Harold Washington College and later earned a bachelor's degree from Roosevelt University. She's in a pretty crowded Republican field seeking the nomination to challenge longtime Democrat Congressman Bill, I don't know where I'm at, Foster, in one of the key suburban districts in Illinois. Tedora, welcome to Black and Right. I'm so happy to see that you did make the ballot.
I am too. Thank you for having me. I remember at one of the meetings where I was like, I need to make sure I get on that ballot. I just felt in my spirit that it was going to be some type of, I knew it was going to be something. I just didn't know exactly what it was. And I didn't know how detrimental it could be with me being a first-time candidate, just trying to make a difference in our community.
Yeah, one of the things I always love to interview first-time candidates. One of the reasons why is because they're not inundated or spoiled by the politics of especially of our Republican Party. What made you jump in now, though? What was it? Because if you had talked to me, I would have told you don't do it.
So I was the first one to actually file my FEC back in May.
Yeah.
So I knew for a fact that I was going to run for Congress. In 2023, I was going to run for, which would have been the 2024 election, I was going to run for Illinois State Representative.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had had a problem and was attacked under the Biden administration for, I'm guessing, being a Republican. But anyway, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But
I remember you and I talked about that.
Yeah. And so I knew after that as I fought the Department of Justice that I had to do something on the federal level. And me being a homeschool mom, just a frustrated parent, I am an American businesswoman. I call myself the little Donald J. Trump because I'm a real estate developer and I'm the only woman developer that does new construction in the state of Illinois. And I actually have I'm licensed to build for veterans.
Oh.
So, so I know for a fact that I had to do something. And, I didn't want to be a part of this political theatric that goes on. So I was okay at first, then people started jumping in. And I did hear someone say something about the national GOP has to do better because a four-way race on a congressional run is huge, and there's, everyone has their strengths somewhere, right? So we all could have been divided or, distributed in different races because there's no candidates everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was listening, so I do want to tell, I love Mike Pierce. He's one of my opponents, but I want to tell him he didn't come to every county. I went to every county. He never made it to Cook County. He did not come to Lamont or Palos Park, so no, he didn't make it here. But I myself, and this was one of the reasons why I was able to fight all the way to the Illinois Appellate Court and win and get those signatures overturned because I circulated 85% of my petition sheet.
Yeah.
I went to every county. When I tell you I put miles on my vehicles, I was switching up because more changes coming. Yes.
Wait, hold on. Valon, mute your phone. Mute your phone. Go ahead, Tedora.
Okay. So, so I was able, I circulated 85% of my petition sheets, and I did that because I know that we need change. We need what our founding fathers actually wanted, and that's a regular citizen like you, like myself, someone that is not part of the political pack to go in and to be part of that, I don't want to call it, but to be a part of what they have going on and, not being able to, not accepting different donors' monies and, rejecting endorsements because I don't believe in what they believe in. But as a former Democrat, I believe I was attacked under the Biden administration. Under the Obama administration too, because I was forced for some health care insurance that I don't know. You're from Joliet, so my son passed away. He was playing basketball in Plainfield Central in 2015. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I definitely remember that.
Okay, that was my son, and I believe that if we had different insurance, that he probably would still be alive because he had a heart condition called myocarditis. So remember, we were actually forced into getting health care insurance, or we were going to be fine when we pay our taxes. So all of this was just a buildup of where I needed to be. And there's to a point now where we are under a satanic, demonic attack under our country, and we have to bring God back into the White House. We have to bring God back into the Hill. If we don't do that with the power of prayer, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Because this election is so detrimental right now that they're trying to make our country a third world country.
Yep.
And I believe we have great candidates. Don't get me wrong. Even the one who challenged my petition, I've forgiven him.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. We have a incumbent in office that's been there for 13 years in our district.
And needs to do nothing.
And they haven't done anything. The only thing the guy has done was the only bills that he has actually passed, and it was changing 3 postal name changes.
Hey, Tadaro, I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to give you that opportunity. We got about a minute and 10 seconds left. I want to give you that opportunity to speak directly to the. I have a lot of 11 district voters who watched it and listens to this show. Speak directly to them why they should elect you to be the nominee.
I definitely will. So I have the opportunity of being an American businesswoman, an entrepreneur, a real mom just like you. I know how to balance budgets. I know how to make hard decisions, and I know how to change legislation, which I've just won, and I've proven that in the Illinois Appellate Court. If you're looking for someone that is, strong and bold and have a voice for the Republican Party, and that is a young and new face, that will be me. There's one powerful message, and I'm going to just say it. I'm the only one in this race that can take Bill Foster and put him in retirement. That's me. Lived experience, real mom, school teacher, entrepreneur, American businesswoman, and ready to fight and protect and defend our country.
That's Tadora M. Brown, who's running for Congress in the 11th District. Thank you so much for joining us here on Black and White Radio.
Thank you, John Anthony.
All right, you're the best. Thank you. Villan, it's been long, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been a lot of folks.
You got a jam-packed show and you had a lot of callers, I know.
Yeah, I mean, so many callers have dropped off. We'll be right back.
Scott Jennings wonders if we'll see support.
Iran has fired ballistic missiles into a German military base in Jordan. So Iran continues to fire at its neighbors. Something I've been wondering, are we having any expectation that other countries are going to eventually get fed up with this and join in the military attacks against Iran?
The Scott Jennings Show. Weekdays at noon, right before Hugh Hewitt at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Roger Stern. The U.S. striking Karg Island in the Persian Gulf, a pass-through point for more than 90% of Iran's oil, and the White House is happy.
President posted U.S. Central Command executed one of the most powerful bombing raids in the history of the Middle East and totally obliterated every military target in Iran's crown jewel, Karg Island.
Fox's Steve Harrigan. The U.S. attacked Karg Island after Iran started blocking Western oil shipments to the Strait of Hormuz. We're learning that 2 weeks before Thursday's attack on a Michigan synagogue, they had gotten warnings of new dangers for Jewish houses of worship.
Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard said he texted with the head of security at the temple with some information and ideas about how to further protect the place of worship.
Fox's Deborah Valentine reporting. America is listening to Fox News.
In his new movie, The Dragon's Prophecy, Dinesh D'Souza brings the new Middle East into focus with a message of perseverance, faith, and a shared global destiny.
Could the fate of the world, of humanity itself, be somehow tied to this place?
At long last, we have peace in the Middle East.
Israel and Christians are coming together in a way they have never been before, since the book of Acts.
But is this the end of Hamas and radical Islam? What does the Bible say?
We have to become fighters in in the Spirit for God. We don't accept what the enemy wants to do with our culture. We don't accept what he wants to do with the nation. If we keep fighting, we win.
Powerful, prophetic, a must-see movie based on Jonathan Cahn's international bestseller, The Dragon's Prophecy, combines history and scripture with faith, justice, and renewal. The Dragon's Prophecy, a new film by Dinesh D'Souza, now available on Amazon, YouTube, and iTunes.
A financial analyst is needed in Niles, Illinois. Duties are to analyze performance and prepare variance and profitability reports to support forecasting and management decisions. Review inventory turnover, purchasing efficiency, and supplier cost trends, and recommend actions to improve profitability and working capital. Produce monthly, quarterly, and annual reports. Reconcile data across accounting, point of sale, and ERP system to ensure data integrity and compliance. Conduct market, consumer, and competitor analysis, and provide insights to support expansion. Salary is $70,886 per year fixed. Benefits include medical coverage, paid time off, 401k, and employee discount. Requires a bachelor's degree in finance or related. Apply with cover letter, resume, and transcript to TISO Life Niles LLC, 8331 West Gulf Road, Niles, Illinois 60714. Attention, job.
You need to be tuning into the Retirement Success Blueprint with Michael Stewart, the radio companion to the Amazon best-selling book, Success Blueprint, How to Build the Retirement You Deserve. Each week, Michael shares strategies designed to help reduce market risk through income-generating investments that can provide steady returns. Because if you can avoid a big loss, you don't need to take big risks. Catch the Retirement Success Blueprint with Michael Stewart, Saturday mornings at 10, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Micro. That's pound 250, Micro.
Did you know most remodeling mishaps start before construction even begins? Here's something else you should know. At Forever Remodeling, we do things differently. Every kitchen, bathroom, and basement project starts with smart planning, detailed 3D designs, a clear scope of work, and accurate pricing, all sorted out before you get started. No surprises, no stress, just beautiful results. Done right the first time. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4, EVER, remodeling.com. And schedule your free in-home consultation today.
It's the show the mainstream media doesn't want you to know about. It's Black and Right with John Anthony.
Welcome back to Black and Right. Don't get old, folks. I put the number in the feed, Pete. Don't get old. Let's go to Karen from the South Suburbs. Karen,
hello.
You there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, hello, Mr. Anthony.
Oh, Karen Hicks.
Yes, always a pleasure. Listen, real quick, this is all I want to say.
Yeah.
You know how we win, you all? Everybody share. Share the P-Ray and the Pamela and the awesome young lady that just got off. Listen, I personally know P-Ray. I personally know Pamela. These ladies are for real. Like the gentleman said, you feel the energy. We're energy, you all. So I'm begging my people that's listening to my voice. If we're going to see change, we must do the work. And like the young lady, I didn't get her name that just went off.
Tadora.
She's a businesswoman.
Yeah.
We need people that know how to handle business. P-Ray knows how to do it. Pam knows how to do it. And those of us that's listening, hey, we got to stop sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Because now we can take this phone and we can share your show to all our friends.
Yep.
If we're going to win you all, we got to do the work. Let's do the work and let's make it happen. And like that, the young lady just said, and we need prayer. Prayer is this. Speak those things that are not as though they are. Get rid of those negative words. We will win. We will win. And if you are a reader of the word, we're going to win, you all.
Yeah.
You just got to believe it. You got to make it happen. I'm a living witness. They told me I wouldn't make it. They told me I had cancer. They told me I wouldn't have children. That one child. I could go on and on. But let's do the work. Get busy. Share the show. A shout-out to my brother Batar. A shout-out to David Seaton. Because
I love
those
David.
two gentlemen right there, they share. They share. The only way we're going to win, we got to quit thinking that one person is going to do it. We all got to be involved. I love you, man. I love you so much. Keep doing it, baby.
Thank you. I love you too, Karen. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye. Our next candidate, Don Tracy, who's running for U.S. Senate. I've had him on the show. I've had him on Detroit's Morning Answer. Don Tracy, welcome back to Black and Right. Is he on?
Yeah.
Hey, bud.
Yeah, John. Yeah,
How you doing?
Yeah. Pretty good. Up and down all around.
Yeah.
State.
You know, I wanted to have you back on because your time was cut really short, and that was all on me. So I wanted to give you the proper time to come on. And I think my audience have heard from you. But I think what I want to know now, Don, what's the closing message to the voters of the state of Illinois as it relates to why they should vote for Don Tracy?
It's a really important seat. It's the best opportunity to pick up a U.S. open seat, a U.S. Senate seat since 2010 when Mark Kirk beat Alexei Giannoulias, who's now the Secretary of State. But whoever wins the Democrat primary on the other side is going to be a career politician who is very experienced at elections. I think Raja Krishnamurthy is considered to be the front runner. I mean, he's run eight times before, been elected, 6 or so of those 8 times, maybe even 7. And he started this contest with like $28 million. He spent, $12 million. He's going to be tough. Juliana Stratton, has got Pritzker money. She's going to be tough. So, I think this is for several different reasons. We probably don't have time to go into all of them. This is an opportunity for an Illinois Republican to win again statewide, and a really good. But it's going to take the right Republican, somebody who's got some experience in it. And there's 5 other people running in this race, and the 5 have. A couple are perennial candidates, but basically they have zero or no political or governing experience. And I'm not a career politician, John, as you know. I've spent my my career in the private sector, as a lawyer and as a businessman. I co-own a successful large family business with my 11 brothers and sisters. And when I was younger, I owned and operated my own business, and struggled at times to make payroll. Had to borrow money to make payroll, so I know what it's like to struggle to put food on the table and to make a profit in a business. But on the side, as a volunteer primarily, I've run for office a couple of times before. I was elected twice as chairman of the Illinois Republican Party. I helped Bruce Rauner defeat an incumbent governor, Pat Quinn. I've served as chairman of the Illinois Gaming Board for about 4.5 years. I was served as a precinct committeeman. I was a Trump delegate twice. And I've been helping other Republicans up and down the state over the last 20 some years run for office and get elected to office. So I think, so I've got real significant political and governing experience. And, you always, it's just like people sometimes think that politics is super simple. And, and I tell people they're looking at it as an apple. They see just one layer, but it's more like an onion. There's many, many layers.
Many layers.
It's complex business. And if you're running for the first time ever, you're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And, and a race for U.S. Senate, which is going to be a multi-million-dollar race, it's just no race it's no job for a political novice.
Okay. Hey, Don, we got to go to break. We got to go to break. When we come back from break, we'll continue the discussion. You're listening to Black and Right. We'll be right back.
The following is a paid political announcement.
I'm Tidora Brown, running for Congress in Illinois' 11th District. I'm not a career politician. I'm a mom, homeschooling my kids through today's chaos. I'll fight for real education choices, not bureaucracy. Schools that educate and not silence parents. District 11 deserves safe communities and real economic growth. Your cash, your community. On March 17th, make the right choice. Choose Tidora Brown, the only candidate who can take on Bill Foster. I'm Tidora Brown, and I approve this message.
As a local business owner, you get called every week by marketing companies. We get it. We have hundreds of satisfied customers. Here's what a satisfied client recently said.
Open enrollment is going great. We're hitting record numbers. Thank you so much for this report. It really is amazing to see how the marketing is really shaping our enrollment around the city.
Salem Surround. Is your business hard to find online? Meet with a digital marketer today for ideas that will make your business stand out. Visit salemsurround.com.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe.
What did it cost to put a Bible into your hands in English? Calvary Baptist Church Tinley Park presents a powerful look back at the valiant men who gave us the Holy Bible. Make plans now to view the Bible Collection, a showcase of antique Bibles and historic works tracing the journey from the original Greek text compiled by Erasmus, Stephanus, and Beza to the English translation work of William Tyndale, leading up to the King James Version, March 15th through the 18th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. For details, visit CalvaryBaptistTinley.com.
If you're near retirement or thinking about retiring, you probably have a lot of questions. How do you make your savings last? How much should you take out and when? You're ready for retirement, but are your finances? I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor, Nolan Webster. Let's work together to make sure your finances meet your unique needs over the long haul. You've done what it takes to get there. Now it's time to make the most of retirement. Call me at 224-801-6107 to schedule an appointment. That's 224-801-6107. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
This is Black and Right with John Anthony.
Welcome back to Black and Right. Before the break, we were talking to candidate for U.S. Senate Don Tracy, former Illinois Republican chairman. He was also the attorney for Dot Foods, correct, Don?
I've worked for Dot Foods since I was 10 years old. Yeah. And I was employee one. And I was assigned to the warehouse at 10, and it was a two-car garage, residential garage. And we've been successful now. Mom and Dad have passed away, but I have 11 brothers and sisters, and it's totally a family business to this day. We've been blessed to live the American dream, and that's why I'm running to defend the American dream, so everyone can experience their own unique American dream.
Yeah. Former state representative Jill Tracy, now Senator Jill Tracy, was always good and kind to me, and I'll never forget that. But Don, as you look at
best, I love Jill, and we were law partners for a while.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. But Don, as you look across this state, if Illinois is picked up, if we pick up this Senate seat, how important do you think that is for the agenda of the America First and President Trump? Because I don't think President Trump is really looking to I don't think he thinks we can pick up a Republican seat in Illinois, but it's an open seat. It's possible. How important is it to win this seat? And why is Don Tracy the right person to pick up that seat?
Well, it's important to Illinois, so we have a seat at the table. There's 8 statewide offices in Illinois, including the 2 U.S. Senate seats. We have none of them. So having this seat would give us a seat at that table. But nationally for President Trump and the Senate Republicans, it would be important because, as we can see from these stupid government shutdowns, the fight over the SAVE Act, and, the need to reform welfare. I mean, almost anything big takes 60 votes. And it doesn't look like we can get all 60 votes from just the red states. So we've got to start winning seats in a blue state again. We did with Mark Kirk in 2010, and he'd probably still be our senator if he hadn't had that stroke.
Yeah.
But so that's nationally, that's why we need another seat. I mean, we only have a margin of 3 right now too, and it's going to be a tough midterm. And we're defending 3 or 4 seats, that's another reason why we need this seat. If we were to lose one of those, it would be great to balance it, with winning this seat in Illinois.
Yeah, Don, when you look at the SAVE Act, when you look at what's the Senate is where all the action is right now. And what would you say to Senator Thune as it relates to, not passing the SAVE Act? When you're looking at DHS, where would you stand on ending the filibuster?
Well, first of all, the SAVE Act is critically important. Every state should have voter ID. It's ridiculous that we don't have it. There's no justification for not having voter ID. The Democrats say it will suppress voting, and they're right in the sense that it will suppress illegal voting to have voter ID. So, but 26 states have some version of it. There's no excuse for not having it. It's an 80-20 issue. Even the majority Democrats support voter ID. It's just the political leaders don't support it. And then, even Democrats admit only citizens can vote. Then why are they so opposed to having people prove citizenship? One time when they register or when they change their registration, of course. It's just that also should, and that's what the SAVE Act is all about. But they are opposed to it, so we got to put the pressure on them. I think Thune's going to have a vote this week.
Yeah,
and we'll
talking filibuster, correct?
They'll put some pressure on them. But and then if that doesn't go, the next option I think they should be looking at is the talking filibuster.
Yeah.
But that's not as simple as it sounds,
right?
Because then you got to have 51 people in the chamber at all times. Otherwise, the Democrats might pull a fast one with an amendment that will ruin the SAVE Act, and then also there's just other issues. Busting and then the third option would be to bust the filibuster.
Yeah.
But the Democrats want to do it. They want us to.
They're going to do it if they win the Senate. They will do it.
Well, they say they're going to do it. They wanted to do it last time, but Sinema and Manchin wouldn't let them. I think Fetterman would oppose it this time. There's a lot of people say they want to do it, but then, the problem is, if we bust it, we make it easy for them because then they can make Puerto Rico the 51st state, 2 more senators, D.C. The 52nd
15
state,
different SCOTUS.
2 more, but that is the argument for busting the filibuster and taking the risk that it won't boomerang on us. Is that if you think that if they're going to get control enough and they actually would bust it.
Yeah.
But remember, they busted it on the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And that bit them bad. That boomerang bad.
Yeah.
So that's what it's just not as simple as people think. You got to really take into consideration.
Well, Don, I want to give you a minute to talk to the voters of Illinois as to why they should send you. But I'll tell you this: I personally believe if we break the filibuster, I think the America First agenda. I don't think there's anything they could do because of what it would do for the American people. That the success that would come from it. And when you look at a lot of the what do you call them, the executive orders that President Trump has done, if we codified those into law, I don't see Republicans losing for a very long time because of the America First agenda.
Yeah, I mean, that is the argument. That is, you've said it very well for busting the filibuster.
Yeah.
As I said, there's strong pros and cons on both sides of that. And the other thing about the filibuster is it makes the Senate more bipartisan, so we don't have yo-yo government. Otherwise,
True.
Without a filibuster, every time we have a change in administration, and it seems like we have it every 4 years, we go from what we think is good government to far left, and what the Democrats would claim would be far right when we're in charge. And,
right.
And you need, to have a strong country, you need stable government. You can't have a yo-yo government. So Don, it's a tough issue, John Anthony, and I sure appreciate your views on it and the opportunity to talk about it.
Well, Don, I want to give you that opportunity to speak directly to the voters of Illinois. What's your final pitch?
Final pitch is that we can win this seat with the right candidate. And people say that experience doesn't matter in politics. But, with good politics, you get peace and prosperity. And with bad politics, you get war, death, and destruction. We saw under Biden, we had weak leader and Biden, and so Putin invaded Ukraine twice. Hamas invaded Israel. We need strong leaders, and we need leaders, with experience. And I'm by far the most experienced candidate in this race, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to win, but it's so important that people need to do the research and then vote.
All right, Don Tracy, running for U.S. Senate for the great state of Illinois. Thanks again for coming back on, and I really do apologize for cutting you short the last time. I really appreciate you coming on.
No, I really appreciate you, John, and no need to apologize. I just thank you for this opportunity.
All right, tell Kathleen I said hi.
Well, thank you, John.
We'll be right back.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
In his new movie, The Dragon's Prophecy, Dinesh D'Souza brings the new Middle East into focus with a message of perseverance, faith, and a shared global destiny.
Could the fate of the world, of humanity itself, be somehow tied to this place?
At long last, we have peace in the Middle East.
Israel and Christians are coming together in a way they have never been before since the book of Acts.
But is this the end of Hamas and radical Islam? What does the Bible say?
We have to become fighters in the spirit for God. We don't accept what the enemy wants to do with our culture. We don't accept what he wants to do with the nation. If we keep fighting, we win.
Powerful, prophetic, a must-see movie based on Jonathan Cahn's international bestseller, The Dragon's Prophecy, combines history and scripture with faith, justice, and renewal. The Dragon's Prophecy, a new film by Dinesh D'Souza, now available on Amazon, YouTube, and iTunes. And now, more Black and Right with John Anthony.
Welcome back. Valon, that was a long time, man.
Yeah,
I know why you calling in, though. Go ahead. Tell people why you calling in.
Well, I'm going to do something for you so you won't have to.
Okay.
I'm going to listen to that leftist show tomorrow and every day, every week, until I hear them say this is our last show. And guess what? Everybody can blame it on me. I take the heat because they called my president a pedophile protector, me a pedophile protector, and my president a rapist, and I'm a rapist protector. So I'm glad Trump heard them say that, and I'm glad Trump heard them say it to me. And if he sues them, I hope he sues the pants off of them, sues the radio station, and sues him personally because he ain't got the money. He ain't got the money to buy his way out of it. The radio station might slip out of it some kind of way, but he ain't got the money to get out of it. So I can't wait for them to say this is our last show. Matter of fact, it'd be so fitting that they don't even get a chance to say this is our last show. Just pull the damn show. Just pull it.
Hey, hold on, Bilal. I got to take a call real quick. Hold on. David from Lansing.
Hey, John, I'm coming in medium like my level of anxiety while driving through Dalton.
What's up, brother?
Anyway, your show is the GOAT. It's dope as soap on a rope. Is that what the kids say nowadays?
Yeah, something like that.
All right, I'm hip on this language. Anyway, I'm glad you're covering all these candidates and pointing out the information that voters need to go in before they go into the booth. And Republicans, I just want to put out a little PSA here. I think I could be wrong. I don't have my paperwork with me, but I think it's called the Illinois Family Institute.
Yeah, David Smith.
They lay out all the candidates, and you can check them out. And that's what I do before every election now, so I know what I'm doing before I go into the voting booth. And thanks for your show and covering all the candidates.
Thank you. Tommy, what's coming up? You guys, wait, guys. You may want to tune in and don't turn off the radio after this show is over. Why, Tommy?
We've got Lieutenant Governor candidate Aaron Del Mar calling in, telling us a little about what's happening with the campaign and some other things and questions we have. We want some answers.
To. So that you guys heard that. Aaron Del Mar, Lieutenant Governor with the Bailey campaign, is coming on The Unsafe Space with Jenny McGuire and Tommy McIntyre.
Yes, sir. And we're going to talk about the primaries. There's a lot happening. I think outside of the Illinois thing, the war seems to be increasing in volatility. There's a lot happening over there.
All right. Well, guys, don't turn off the show. Let's go to Eduardo really quickly. Eduardo, we got about 40 seconds. Go. Thanks for holding.
Okay, John. Well, I was going to get at everything I was going to talk about, but we need to support this president on this war on Iran. But we also got to concentrate on what's happening with the gas prices and affordability, and we got to get rid of the filibuster.
Yeah.
No question about it.
I agree. Thank you, man. Villan.
All I can say is good luck to all of the candidates in that communist, Marxist, socialist state y'all live in.
Well, have you been praying for the people of Michigan with these attacks?
Oh, man, that's crazy, man.
Insane. Guys, thank you so much, Villan. Thank you for all the guests that came on. Don't go anywhere. The Unsafe Space is coming up next. Go get the book.
Parsons Transportation Group Incorporated has an opening for a senior engineer